stuff, and they are, just like a lot of the time I'm just like filling time and stuff like that, or like just like speaking about anything, keeping it going, like all these kinds of things. Here we have the link to YouTube. I'm going to make sure it's off on mine. So we're about 20 seconds behind. So when we talk, people will hear it in about 20 seconds, basically. So there are going to be delays. Let me get this link out into the world, though. I'm hoping that we get some like chats that we can respond to. But you never know. I have not run a chat from Riverside before, or not run a live stream from Riverside before, so could be interesting. We have a few people watching though, so welcome along. I'm going to be getting this posted on the Twitter link real quick. But Ben, you want to say hello and welcome to the first Tilehurst End stream for a Reading game.
Yeah, look, I don't know how we've ended up doing this. It was kind of hit and miss with the week we've all had, but we kind of talked about it, and we kind of just said, let's just do it and crack on with it, regardless of the kind of news that's come out this week. And as I said earlier, I fully appreciate that most people will be at Bolton. The rest of the fan base, I'm sure, will be at the Newbury show, which is going on today. Anthony,
tell me about this show. Is that horses?
Oh, it's mad. It's a mad. Yeah. Honestly, I've been a few times over the last 10 years, and it's just proper Berkshire. Like it's just mad. People wandering around in like full on, get up, like all the kind of their tweed stuff, and there's loads of Labradors and dogs, and there's like prize cows and stuff. And that's why I'm wearing this, because I should be wearing a Reading shirt obviously, but I'm wearing this one because from my point of view, this is the only football shirt in the world that has what is essentially a tapestry on it. And right at the bottom, you can't see it, but there's cows on it right in the middle. And I just think, that's for a football shirt, for a national football shirt, that's pretty impressive.
So do you prefer the cows or the tapestry aspect of it?
I like it all, really. I think it's just, it's a great badge anyway.
I'm not okay with you wearing a France kit at all. I know you're Welsh, so you think you can get away with it, but
I'll do what I want, mate. Yeah, exactly. I'll do what I want.
An English football club, can't you pretend for?
I know. I could try to. Well, but this first stream, we just thought we'd do it. We'd try something different. We're both watching it. Ross is watching it via. Is it NordVPN? You're watching it through? You're watching it for
regular old Royals TV, like international. Don't stitch me up on YouTube.
No, anyway. They're our official partner, aren't they? That was the whole thing. They're our VPN partner.
They are. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought they were just the general YouTube partner. All right. Well, there you go. Well, hey, look. So let's talk about the changes in the lineup because we got 5 minutes before the game gets started here. So obviously Savage and CBC are the guys missing out today. Savage, I think we talked about that on the pod this week. It's actually, it's a shame. He must be, I was thinking about this, he must be the second or third highest scorer on the team right now, or is he the top scorer so far this year for Reading?
I think he's going to be up there, isn't he? Listen, I don't think anyone is in a position to criticise Ruben Sellés in terms of the formation, or not formation, but the changes that he's made after the week that he's had, and noticeably was very, very, stress is the wrong word, but just at the end of it all, really, in his press conference in the week. From my point of view as a fan, and I know people watching this will disagree because there's a lot of mixed opinions about Charlie Savage, but anyone who knows me knows that I really like him as a player. I think he brings a lot of energy. I think there's certain things he needs to work on, certainly in terms of the tackling and controlling the ball and potentially not giving it away. That said, I still think that we are a better side with him in the team. And for me, I feel like he is always one of those players that is only ever given one game at a time to effectively mess up. Other players in the team have been shown a lot more patience over the course of the year. And, we'll talk about, David Button. How much patience was he shown last year as a goalkeeper? And yet Kanaya Boyce-Clarke is removed and David Bolton comes straight in. You know, he didn't have a good game last week. We said this on the pod, but we are in a difficult position with these goalkeepers, and I would have preferred to have seen those players that didn't have a good game last year. I'm losing it already. Last weekend, given an opportunity to redeem themselves. That's my opinion as a fan. That said, at this stage, quite frankly, Ruben Sellers can do what he wants. He really can, because the weeks get worse and worse as we go on, and we're not going to dwell on that. We're here to talk about football on the pitch. But we just have to get behind whoever's playing. We really do, and I hope today, given Bolton's pretty torrid start to the season, we're going to be able to get at least a point out of this. It's going to be very, very difficult, and we saw last week, as we said on the pod, morale of the players looked pretty low. They kind of lacked the energy, they lacked the press that we've probably seen in previous games. But it's not all lost yet. We've got a lot of opportunities here to be able to pick up points and move up the table. I don't know what you think about the overall possibility of getting points today, but from my point of view, it's a game that we should be sort of looking forward to and trying to get something out of, really, Ross.
I think we got to look for something, because I think what you were saying earlier this week about getting unlucky with when people are leaving, and we didn't get unlucky with the current manager of Bolton. It's Ian Evatt, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't get unlucky there. We said they released some coaching staff this week. They made some changes to how that's running. So maybe it's something to do with how training or practice is running right now, but obviously they're still going with Ian Evatt. I think he's been there for 4 years though, right? So this is a long project that they've been.
It's difficult for we said this, and on the pod, and I'm going to keep saying that because we do say a lot on the pod, obviously, because that's where we talk about stuff. But Bolton are a good side, but there's a lot of pressure on them to do well this season, and if he doesn't get it right in the next couple of weeks, you would imagine that he will be gone. They're pretty low down the table. They've had a pretty torrid start to the season. Not good at all last week against Huddersfield. Their last goal I think they conceded was farcical, really, from any perspective, let alone a League One level perspective. So
amusing though. So that good League One moment. Players are out of the tunnel, by the way. Players are shaking hands and all of that right now. Reading in there.
You know what I've just noticed? Just to interject there, they first of all, Bolton have got a lion mascot. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. I'll find that out in a minute. Yeah. But he joined in with the handshakes.
I like him, Matt. Right. I'm good with the mascot. That mascot a minute silence account is brilliant. I do like.
Did you see that photo of the week of who was it?
The mascot for Bologna, I think it was.
Yeah, they were all getting dressed out, and the mascot was just stood behind him. I was like, why are you getting involved, mate? It's got nothing to do with you.
Hey, that's a question. We're a million miles away from that right now. But do you think the Reading fans would do that ever? You see that more often these days, the dressing down in front of the noisy.
I think it's very much a culture thing in those countries, isn't it?
That's fair.
I don't know. I from an outsider's point of view, I think it's really funny. If it was my club and the fans would dress them down, I don't know how I'd feel about that. Really, I'm not sure. I think fans have got a lot of power, but should they be giving team talks? I don't know.
It's a little bit odd, isn't it, when you see
what
looks like the equivalent of the Portsmouth man giving
basically
down to these people. What is
it's just weird, just odd. Just a bit strange.
We've got the teams out on the field. Referees are smiling nicely. I'll do a quick rundown of the lineup again, just so that we're all on the same page here. So obviously Button starts in goal. We got an unchanged back four. Craig, winning player of the season, and Bengay, Bindon, and Dorset. And then we've got Elliott, Wing, and Nibs. It's the midfield that we started the season with. And then new signing Chem Campbell, Sam Smith, Kelvin Ahib Hatchiman. I think Smith needs a good game again today with Nibs back in the team.
He again, we talk about Savage being dropped. Smith is kind of quite lucky to still be in the team for me. I love Sam Smith. I love all the players to a point. But he's not had a good start to the season at all. So,
Yeah, I think the only other, it's funny, like the only other formation change I would have maybe suggested, and it would have still been playing out before 3-3 anyway, which is what they do, would have been to go to a sort of diamond midfield and have Nibs, play at the top of that to keep Savage and the team on the left. And I was talking about, maybe you drop Kelvin, which is a bit harsh, but I think that point you might have dropped Smith and you had Kelvin and Chem Campbell start up front. But anyway, we've gone with what we've gone. The players are on the line and we've kicked off. So guys, we're going to be a little bit behind in terms of like a delay. So what we're going to do is, I don't think we're going to do too much play by play in terms of this guy passes to this guy and all of that. We'll keep you up to date with where what's going on though. Button's got his first touches of the day.
God, he was nearly out of the area with that.
Yeah, coming on out and trying to just make sure that we're not getting in there, or that Bolton aren't getting in behind. It looks like they're starting with some urgency here.
Yeah, they've really gone high press. I mean, I text one of my best mates who's a Bolton fan, and I said, look, just give me a rundown because I need to blag it on a live stream. Yeah. I didn't say that, but I just said, look, just give me an idea of how you guys have been playing. I've seen the results. And he said, I think he said tippy-tappy, possession-based football, out from the back, no plan B. Other League One teams are working us out. Lots of sideways passes. Yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe we'll be all right. Maybe we'll be all right.
Chem Campbell's down, though, and he does not look happy at all. We're a minute in, and Campbell's taken it looks like he's kind of taken a foot over the top from a slide tackle that's gone into his ankle. Here we go. Here's a member of the medical staff coming on now to take a look at him. Oh dear, he doesn't look happy at all.
Yeah, he's not happy at all, is he? He's not comfortable with that.
No.
That's not a good start, really.
That really isn't a good start. No, they're checking it out now. Oh man, Chem Campbell, Reading's only signing so far this season on the ground at the moment. Hopefully, it's one of those, that's a little bit of a, when you first get it, it's a shock. It hurts a lot, and then it moves on. But who knows? Who knows?
Also, I'm not being rude. It's because I'm not looking you dead in the eye like I do on the pod.
No, you're fine. Don't worry. We're watching the game as well as all of these kinds of things. We're in a delay right now for anyone watching. Chem Campbell is down at the moment. Remember, guys, there is a chat as well. If you're watching on you, well, you can only watch on YouTube. So do feel free to get your questions in throughout the game, and we'll read them out.
Regular viewers will also know, or anyone seeing the clips will know, that I've changed position for this live stream. And I'm upstairs and I'm joined by my cat, who is currently sleeping. You see her?
Chem Campbell's up. Oh, the cat is cute. I do like the cat.
Yeah, she look at her. She's
clip that up later. Chem Campbell's up. So that's good. And he's immediately complained at the referee that he didn't get a free kick for getting kicked. So I think we're in the clear, which is good. He's on the side of the field now with two of the medical staff. But it does look like he's going to try and come back on. Bolton are underway again. Looks like they're playing in a back three. They've got 1-6 dropped. They've just made a play out to the right wing. Ooh, it's a good cross into the box. And they've just put it just wide there. A corner for Bolton. With 3 minutes gone here. But yeah, they definitely look like they got a lot of urgency about them right now. Obviously, that game against Huddersfield, if there's wake-up calls, and then there's whatever that was for them.
Listen, Huddersfield are a team that we haven't really mentioned at all, and not many, people around the League One situation have mentioned really, but that was a real statement win for them. Regardless of the bonus, you go anywhere and you win 4-0 away from home. It's it's
impressive. Button makes his first save of the day. Sorry, that's what I was in for. So Button's made his first save of the day. Reading clear away the first cross into the box from the corner, and that's actually hit wing from the second cross that's gone in. So it's hit wing in the chest, and Button's cleaned that up. Reading moving forward now. Nibs playing a nice pass forward to Kelvin. Kelvin one-on-one down the wing, and now Bolton have brought help in, which is, this is really important about Kelvin. Regardless of how you think that he's playing, the opposition game plan for him, you can see every game now. You often see two people put on him, rather than just leaving him one-on-one. And I see the reason. Like if Kelvin, ends up 1v1 against a smaller defender, he's going to get to the byline most times. Reading have their corner now, about 4.5 minutes gone.
Hold on, goodness me. The corner, what are you on? Because this is going to be problematic, because I'm on 457.
Oh, well, I'm on 435. So, yeah,
Thank
we're a
you.
little bit off. Yeah. There is a delay today, chat. So just.
Spoiler, dribbled away. Lewis Wing is in possession and he's lost it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Bolton are moving up the pitch now.
All right, so you're going to see all of the action before me. That's all right.
I'll tell you something. We're talking about League One. These grounds. I mean, I went last year. I've been a few times. Bolton Stadium's terrific at any level, let alone League One. But the pitch, without going or sounding like a popular in inverted commas radio station that originates from the BBC locally, the pitch is in great condition. It really is. It is. It's glistening.
Do you know what's funny? There was a lot of talk this season about the, or a lot of talk this week about the artificial pitch that Aston Villa had to play in midweek. And I always think, so I play on turf a lot because it's just what we have up here because it snows all winter. And it's
that's the first time you mentioned that.
I know, right? And it rolls though. The ball rolls so much faster. It moves so much faster on turf. So I was a little bit confused when they were saying like, "Oh, the ball kept slowing down." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like the ball moves like a shot on AstroTurf. Like it's
is it Astro or is it?
It's the turf with the little black bobbly bits.
Black crumb, okay.
Yeah.
So where my son plays, he plays at Deanfield. Anyone watching this locally will know where Deanfield is in Tilehurst secondary school. The pitch is incredible. Like the facilities there are just second to none. They're absolutely brilliant. And we had a game last week and they won 4-1 and they just zipped the ball around so well. Today we were over in Lower Early, which is no offense to anyone watching this from Lower Early, but it's a dreadful place. It's a dreadful place to park as well, by the way. And they were on grass and they completely different game. They lost 3-1, couldn't get the ball moving. And it really does make a difference, in terms of those services. So, right. What we got here? We got an FK. We got an FK and it looks like, what does it look like?
Yeah, it looks like that's Wing. He's been brought down.
Wing is over it.
He turned the screw here quite nicely. So obviously, Bolton started quite well. They were having some possession in their own half. They were able to get around Reading's kind of narrow formation and get it out wide. But now Reading have actually managed to get their press rolling. I've seen Smith retrieving a ball, which is good. That's what we wanted to see. Kelvin looks pretty involved so far, and Shem Campbell ran all the way across the box from right to left to make a block on the goalkeeper. So obviously he's feeling all right again. That's good news. I am quite excited about Shem Campbell. I think he's going to be the one.
I saw someone last week after the game saying he was lazy and unfit. He's definitely neither of those things, is he?
No, he's definitely not unfit.
Right. The ball is in the box like a pinball wizard. It's cleared. It's clear.
Give us the play-by-play.
Michael Craig has just put someone on the floor. What a player! He's just turned him. He's gone from left to right there. Absolutely fantastic, and he's ended up on the turf. You'll love that, Ross. Player of the season off that.
There we go. Player of the
season. Don't lose it there.
I do love Michael Craig. I think he's great. I think he's
good lad, isn't he?
Really, really well. Let me get some.
Love that story as well.
And
love that story that he gave us. Ruben the other week about him texting him and saying I'll play in that position.
I think he's a really quality player, Craig. I think he's going to be one like like after Reading through the year. There's Tom McIntyre is a little bit of a controversial figure in terms of how good people think he is in the fan base, and I think that's because he's a very technical player and he misses out on some of the physical aspects.
Good defending Tyler Binden that was. You'll enjoy that one as well, Ross. Just stood up to his man, cleared it for a corner. Lovely stuff.
Excellent. Very nice. Yeah, seeing that. Well done. Binden is good at that. Yeah, he's just gotten so much bigger, so much more imposing in the last year, honestly.
What are you typing so aggressively?
I'm typing tweets for the Tilehurst End Twitter account today, aren't I? Are
you going to use some metaphors in there?
I might do. We'll see. So, all right. So I'm watching the start of the Bolton corner. Are you midway through this?
Yeah, it's been a little bit scrappy this game in terms of attacking chances. There's nothing really clear cut. Obviously, we had the free kick, but didn't really amount to too much. The ball's just been whipped in again. It's cleared. I mean, it's going to be pretty attritional, I have to say, this game.
Bolton definitely going around the wings quite
they
a
are,
lot
yeah.
here.
They're trying to stretch the play. They're pushing the wing backs out as much as possible. And
yeah,
the problem with that is it does open up quite a bit of space in the middle, and they've lost the ball now. Bolton's just gone through. Oh, God. Oh, David Barton, get in.
David Button making a nice save. So what have we got here? So we'll take it through when we see the replay here.
Oh, honestly, it's a mess. There's literally bodies everywhere now. What's going on now? What's the ref giving here?
Yeah,
I can't see that. I can't. I have to look at the replay.
Yeah, you're right. That's
a great save.
Yeah.
That's a
all
really
right, so I've
good
just seen that replay. So Bolton get the ball across the box and
yeah,
a header, and then right after that we've got a really good reaction save from Button. That's something we saw quite a lot last season when he was playing well. I thought he was decent in reaction saves. He just had holes in where he could make saves.
In all that, Ross, Lewis Wing's been booked, and they've now got a free kick on the edge of the area. Ref is bringing out his spray, which blows my mind every time because water shouldn't be white, should it? And that was crazy. That was a crazy pass of play. Well done, David Button. Props to you, I have to say, because that was not easy. Those saves, they were not routine saves. They've scored. I don't believe it. 12 minutes.
Take us through the goals.
Well, it's come from the free kick. I'm just going to watch the replay now. Yeah, straight in. Direct free kick. Bang. No chance with that. That is really, really frustrating. That is really, really frustrating because the last thing we needed was an early goal against us.
And that's exactly, is it? It's not the start that you want at all.
Watch this free kick, Ross. Look, I don't think he can do anything. Can he really?
I mean it's difficult. It's not exactly high. It's at a reasonable height for the goalkeeper. So, look,
can he do something about it?
That's gone across the goal, round the wall on the right hand side, and it's gone. I mean, like kind of into the side netting. I'll see a replay here. Draft excluder from Chem Campbell's doing nothing. Oh, it's a nice finish. Yeah, maybe Buns.
Can he do anything about that?
Go ahead.
Can he do anything about that as a goalkeeper, Ross? Do you think? I don't say save it.
Yeah,
like what else can he do with that?
Yeah, well, look, I think that comes from positioning and where you position your wall, and maybe that's rust. I think it's a good finish. Don't get me wrong; it's gone into the side netting, but it's gone into the side netting at sort of like middle of the goal height. You know what? No, it's a difficult save. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to criticize Button too much because I know I have been bad for that in the past.
That's really knocked me. That has.
That's all right. It's all right. There's a lot of time left. You ever heard the?
No, that's the positive. It's just the last thing we needed, mate. Is it? After the week we've had, and the way we're setting up in this game, because it just gives them the confidence now, doesn't it? We've got to go and chase the game a little bit, and we just needed to settle into the game and not concede. Sort of, around a 15-20 minute mark, and we might have been okay. But that's what can you do? And the thing is, people go after Button for that after he made the double save. People don't remember the positives, do they? In a lot of respects, so it's not ideal. It's really, really not ideal. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I mean, we're just giving the ball away now on the halfway line, and it's just, again, it's just those basics. They're rushing it now. They've got numbers over.
They're really having trouble with breaking out entirely. So I haven't seen Ben Elliott make much with the ball.
Cannot clear the ball at the moment.
No.
Oh, he's got to the byline. Oh, that's corner. Is it corner?
I'm back with Michael Craig in the other half. Maybe we'll sync ourselves up, and then we can both be talking about the same game.
Yeah, maybe we do.
Yeah, they're looking definitely like they've been hit by a team that wants it more, in inverted commas, at the moment. From what I can see, there's definitely a lot of energy in this Bolton team. They needed to come out and get something this weekend. But hey, look, it's really early still. We're in the 15th minute. And yeah, I've just seen that one where he's got himself to the byline. I mean, it looks like we got a goal kick out of it. So interestingly, I was mentioning with David Button with that goal, there were holes in where he could go. He was good at his reaction saves, but there are holes in like what parts of the net that he could get to. And generally, the wide sections of the net, he just doesn't shift across quick enough. He's especially poor going to his right. We saw that in that Portsmouth loss last season, but yeah, it's just it is what it is. And it's weird, because CBC is young, making mistakes, and not as good in the build up as Button is, but he does seem to have more athleticism in the way that he makes saves. In my opinion, Elliott's won a free kick outside of the Bolton area. um, he's done that a few times so far this season. He got us Wings free kick that was turned away against Leighton Orient last week. And driving in as he does, he's so good at losing his marker and just walking into space. Ben Elliott's got a great understanding of how to use that.
What do you say about that Josh Sheehan goal though, Ross? What you can't really whinge at the free kick, I guess, or rather the foul that led to the free kick. It's just a good finish, right?
It's tricky because Wing, like he always, he operates at the back of this midfield at the moment, and he's got so much energy about him. And I actually have been impressed by Wing's defensive play this season as much as his, play with the ball. But yeah, it's just a really tricky one. I'm more bothered that Wing's booked for the rest of the game because he does like to fly around a little bit. And I think it's a good thing. He's an imposing size of a player.
Wild.
But
that free kick was wild. He took that Lewis Wing again.
That's Lewis Wing taking it.
Nowhere near. Nowhere near.
All right. Over the top of that one, yeah. Look, he's getting his iron. Let's go with that one. Let's go with that.
He's getting his what? What does that mean? He's getting his iron.
He's getting his sighter, He's
all right. He's we're getting the rust off. Just getting out of your system. That's what he's saying in warm up. If you pelt it and it goes into an allotment, when you should have hit the target from 6 yards or whatever, and it goes into someone's and you say just get out of your system before the game starts.
Right, exactly. I want to pick up on what Lee said in chat, asking a little bit about are the protests coming back now the club still hasn't been sold, and we don't want to talk about the ownership too much today because
it's a good point though. Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question though. Like, what can we say about the ownership that hasn't already been said? It is a nightmare. I think, though, what I want to say, Ben, is just reiterating what Ruben said yesterday. If there are going to be protests, let's try to make sure that they're not affecting this team and this set of players right now. But hey, tennis balls, do they affect the team, or what's the thing at this stage? I suppose.
I don't know what I said in the week. I don't know what the answers are at the moment. I really don't. I think if you've got Ruben coming out and saying he doesn't want any more protest, then for me, I feel like the fan base has to adhere to that because there can't be anyone in the fan base who's doubting him now as a manager or as a character. And if he's actively saying, "Look, please don't do this," then I think we have to respect that and understand where he's coming from.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone can really understand how difficult it's been for him over the last few months, but also this week must have just floored him, absolutely floored him. And despite the fact that the players look like they're kind of giving it a bit of a go in terms of the urgency that we didn't see this time last week, the morale's got to be on the floor. Has to be on the floor. If you're sat there going, right, well, we're going to get taken over, our company's going to get taken over, everything's going to be better. We won't have to pay for coffee anymore. You can have a basket of sweets in the staff room and all this kind of stuff. And then someone goes, no, we're not doing that anymore. This is on a very different level in terms of where they've been as a club. Bolton are on the attack now. They're moving the ball quite well. Someone's gone down there. Has he given a penalty? He's given a penalty. I don't believe this.
Oh, my word.
And Ben goes.
I'm watching the replay now. Bolton breaking forward with
and Ben goes giving the ball
7 here, so that's a bad situation for Reading.
He's all over him. He's all over his back. You can't do that.
Here we go.
You can't look. He's held him. He's pulled. The player's going to go to ground, and the ref has got no option to give that.
And Bengate's been turned on the outside of the goal. He's tried to put his arms over the back of the Bolton player to try and kind of stop him. And yeah, it's not worked out. It's not worked out at all. He's pulled the player down. Yeah, that's probably a penalty, isn't it? He's got 2 arms holding him back as he goes. This is not a great start for Reading, obviously here. So Ben, don't give us the outcome of the penalty for a quick second as it comes in, and we'll react to that together. Welcome back, David Button. What a start for him, hey. You get a free kick to deal with on the outside of the box, and then a penalty right after. Charles for Bolton is standing over the penalty. Here we go.
I mean, yeah.
Not what you want at all. Not how you want to start, is it really? Charles over the penalty, absolutely blasts it into the back of the net, and goes and has some words with Button afterwards. That's interesting. 2-0 Bolton. Not a good start for Reading at all. Down 2 within 20 minutes.
At this stage, it's damage limitation, isn't it? Surely.
Well, no, I think, this early on, you never know what's going to happen. Only take, as my dad always used to say, it only takes a minute to score a goal.
Yeah, well, I mean, for Bolton, they've scored 2 in 20, so it's taken them 10 minutes to go at the moment.
Right. So we've got 7 more of those 10-minute chunks to go.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to win this 7-2.
Are we allowed to swear on this, or are we going to get kicked off if we do it? I don't know.
Don't swear on it this time. We won't get kicked off, but give it, try and keep it. It's really fudging annoying,
Mr. Toes, I can't believe it. I mean, that is a penalty, isn't it? I mean, in terms of him converting that, he's not missing that, is he?
Oh no, I mean, hey, you put your laces through the ball. Bindon sees away a dangerous looking attack from Bolton, and they're still pushing forward here. This is getting a little bit like one of the away days that we saw prior to the Wickham away day last year. At the moment, Reading in a spot of bother here is what I'm putting into the tweet. I think more than a spot might be the case. Yeah. Oh dear, Bolton sitting here inside of the Reading half, not really seeing much pressure. Obviously, Reading sit in a mid block. Lee's asked if Reading lost 3-0 to Bolton last time, wasn't it? 5?
4.
4.
No, it's 4.
There we go. You were there.
Yeah, I feel like I think it was 4-1 because I think Makari scored at the end.
Yeah, I think we did get something out of the game. I think, got something out of the game. I think we got at least a consolation, as it were. That was Easter Monday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But we beat them earlier on in the season at height, which seems like a long time ago. Yeah. It was 2-1. We beat them. This is not ideal because now they're just going into the shit. Like they're just losing the ball.
Yeah, and Reading have had some trouble in recent weeks retaining the ball, which has been odd, because I think that they only just had like more possession than Leyton Orient in the previous game, which was, they had a lot of games last season where they did have more possession of the ball. So yeah, Reading not operating particularly well in possession at the moment. Something to watch out for, I would say. But it is not ideal, is it? It is not ideal at all. Reading 2-0 down here versus Bolton. Half of the first half gone. They're attacking again here, Bolton. Reading keeping some relatively good shape with their defense, but Bolton really have runners all over.
And Benga's all over the place here. He's just let Charles ghost past him, and he's been able to use the ball. I mean, it's just gone over the bar, but. And Benga's really, he's at 6s and 7s at the moment. He really is. I just watching the penalty back. Not Charles, sorry, it wasn't Charles. I mean, that's a great penalty. That's a really good penalty.
Yeah, it's a great penalty, really. I mean, just smash it, and unless the goalie stands exactly still and gets his hands up in time, what's he meant to do with that?
Yeah. But as I said to you, they are just giving the ball away at the moment, Ross. There's no composure at all. It's all Bolton. It really is all Bolton. 24 minutes in, rather. Sorry, and it's really, really poor at the moment. They're not even doing the basics. And I have sympathy for them, but at the end of the day, we've got to try and get something out of this game. And at the moment, they're going to get nothing.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Everything is going wrong for them. and it's one-way traffic now, because every time the ball comes back, there's no outlet, as you said earlier up front. There's nothing there. No one's holding the ball at all. There's a little bit of pressure, but it's not coming. They're playing all these angles now. They're drawing players in, and they're basically just, it's going to be a very easy game for Bolton midfield if they carry on at the moment. It has been won back though. That's a nice passage of play from Reading.
Yeah, very
Go
nice.
on. Just have a go. Oh, unlucky. That was unlucky. I'll shut my face. Yeah. I will shut my face because they have just pulled off a shot.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, then. Let me give you a little bit of quick analysis. That's exactly what Reading are looking to do, right? And I spoke a little bit about last week about how Reading aren't scoring goals when they have to face a defense a packed defense in their own third, but that's not what Reading want to attack. They want to attack in transitional situations, and they want to create these attacking situations with the press, which they just did with Nibs finding Chem Campbell for a shot that's gone unfortunately high and wide. But hey, flashes, signs.
But that, in another situation in the game, if it was 0-0, I don't think he's shooting there. I think he's going to look to try and lob that one in. It's just it's just desperation, trying to get something out of the game now in terms of trying to get a goal back. I think the better option there was not to shoot, personally.
Yeah. We're 25 minutes in.
Sam Smith with his hands in his air going, just give me the ball, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, let me have that in the air. I'll attack it. So, but that was good from Nibs. Nice little turn there. Nice little passage of play from Big Kelvin as well. I like that. It's okay.
Yeah, Reading definitely getting off their first good chance of the game there. Hopefully they can really come into this as the game goes on. I don't think it's gone yet. I understand that it's tricky when you go down 2-0 this early on, and Bolton are a team who are good in possession and can really shut a game down. But Reading have got enough about them, and Bolton have made so many mistakes in recent weeks that I'm sure as the game goes on, they're going to get nervous.
Good point. Yeah, that do you know what, that is a good point, actually. You look at how bad they were last week, and as we go back to the goal they conceded, or the last goal they conceded, they are prone to that. But we've got to get at them, Ross. We have to be a little bit more proactive with this, because you can't just sit there and go, well, we're 2-0 down. Like, you've got to really push them and make it uncomfortable for them, really.
Yeah, I'm often, it's funny, like. I guess, like, you know what? No, I was going to say, like, sometimes it's good, like if the team goes down and you can just take the shackles off and go for it. But I don't think I actually think that, Reading would much prefer to be a team that's playing with a low score line. They are built for that kind of thing.
Good defender. Now, I think it was Sheehan who did that. He's been everywhere. He's, I don't want to mention the fact he's a Welsh international. Oh, that's great play. Who was that? He's just taken two players out of the game, and he's bombing forward now. He's released them on the right-hand side, cross into the box. That could well have been... Did he look like he was pushed there? Ref says no.
I'm watching Charles now. Chem Campbell springing Nibs into the box. Nibs has fallen as he goes. It takes a second to get up there.
No, nothing in that.
Pushing outside. Here comes Elliott on the outside of the box, recycling it really nicely. But Craig's cross has just gone behind and to nobody, really. Smith must be so frustrated sometimes, like, when's the last time he had the ball played to his feet? And Kelvin, does actually get the ball played to his feet relatively often. So yeah, Bolton have had a player go down in the box here, and Mbenge's involved again. But
nothing in that.
Yeah,
nothing in that. Ref says no.
Waved it away very quickly.
Yeah. But this is it now. Look, Bolton are in possession. They got a back three there, or what looks like a back three, and there's absolutely no pressure at all. He's just fired one straight out of the pitch, gone straight into our box. Again, someone's gone down in there. Oh, look, it's just a mess, this game at the moment. We just need some composure. We just need to be... Dorset's done pretty well there to win that free kick. It didn't look like it to me, but we just need that pressure, Ross. You can't allow them to ping, 40-yard balls up the pitch.
Well, and as we just showed, they're there to be got at. They're not, so confident in their passing. But Reading really sitting in a mid block and not going for it right now. I think they are going to have to adjust and say, look, although Bolton are showing good ability to play over the top, and you're right, Dorset's done really well to win that free kick there. You wonder sometimes when Mbengue is having a game whether Dorset should get a chance in the middle of the park again. But he's been so good at left back now for a little while that I think he's going to be staying there for the long haul with Ruben. Ooh, it's close though. Reading really playing dangerously on the edge of their box here.
James Oliver Pearce is out on the edge of the technical area. I learned this week that you're only allowed to have one standing up at any given time. Did you know that?
I did. I did know that. But amusingly, they've added technical areas in my league now, so I'm not allowed to walk around to the other side of the pitch that I like doing, which is a shame. Anyway, less about me, more about Reading.
Right, balls with Button. He's looking for something. There's no outlets for him at the moment with this. He's having to go short and wide every time.
Well, it was surprising me that he even pushed the team forward long a minute ago. There's definitely some adjustments going on here. Dorset with a foul throw. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're still playing a 4 in there, but I don't know, has he pushed someone back a bit? We look a lot deeper than we were. We look a little bit, it's just giving the ball away.
Yeah, I'm saying no team really holding it for longer than 30 seconds at the moment. Yeah, just a lot of balls playing forward long, and look at the size of the Bolton centre backs. Like the one that's on Smith right now isn't even the biggest one of the lot, and Smith can play against larger, players who are larger than him, but I don't know, man. I'm wondering if, Sellers said something about him being like one of the best, most consistent strikers in League One over the last few seasons when he came on the pod a few weeks back. And that is kind of true now if you look at his numbers. And I wonder if because of that, he's getting a lot of attention from analysts, coaches when they're putting together the game plan. And I don't know, so far this season, they appear to have worked him out. That Akande cross that he did score from, it's a good run from Smith, and he does best when he's running across the box to the near post, but we just haven't been able to generate that kind of chance for him at all other than that. So he's just chasing things that either he doesn't seem to be ideal for, or the opposition have worked out how to stop him doing it. Craig pushing forward the ball in the right back spot here. Nice ball forward for Elliott. That's really nice. Finds Chem Campbell. There is space there, especially when it comes to Elliott. Chem Campbell breaking into the box really nicely. Oh, and it's just not quite the shot that we needed at the end of all that, really, is it? It's just a little. But
he looks a bit more lively than he was last week. And that's
I've been all right with Chem Campbell so far. I think he's got something about him. Finishing is important, though, so hopefully he can improve that as the season goes on. Then again, we've only got until January, haven't we?
Yeah. Okay. This is it's 3-0, and really it's All
right, well, that's not ideal. Here we go. I'm watching the replay now. Alvin loses the ball. Bolton
just loses the ball again. And how quickly do they move this up the pitch?
Yeah.
They're nowhere to be seen. They're just giving the ball back to them.
Oh, dear.
And
yeah.
Dorset's not even moving there.
Straight between Button's legs. Charles again for Bolton, the number 10, and that is that's not an ideal situation for Button at all. How many more weeks of Pereira out do we have?
Yeah. That's poor goalkeeping. You make yourself big, and he's
Well, it's gone under his nose. It's gone under his legs. I mean, I'm watching here. The ball comes into the box, or the ball attempts to come into the box. Bindon gets the first block off, but Dorset just can't clear it. Shanks his clearance, and the next one goes around. Oh, Dorset, he's just not tracking back at the right level. And Benge's come across the box to try and make a last-ditch clear, block, but it's just not worked out. I can't fault Button too much there. I mean, he could go down a little bit quicker, but I mean, he's made himself big. he's got his legs out. It's not great defending all around. There's a couple of mistakes from Dorset in there. And that is a shame, isn't it? Really, I wonder if we will see a Brafer in the second half.
And he's just given another foul away now. With 34 minutes, and this is, stating the obvious here to everyone watching this, but this is the worst possible thing that could have happened. Really, you look to the bench and you'll say, well, what have we got? I mean, it's not working. As I said, Campbell looked a little bit more lively, but the ball is just coming straight back. There's no retention in that final third. There's no pressure on the Bolton defence at all. They're far too comfortable. And, to be fair to Kelvin here, he's doing a heck of a lot of running and no one's going with him. And maybe that is the game plan, but he's just ploughing furrows on his own.
Yeah.
They're just hacking the ball away now. And Button's just wildly slashed that. Obviously could have been done for a back pass, but it's just, and we're giving a free kick away.
Yeah. Free kick,
honestly, I don't have the words for it. I really don't. It's just ridiculous. Bolton now, they're in just.
I mean, they really are in the ascendant.
He's just pushed him over. The Bolton player's gone to win the ball. He's headed it. Ben Elliott's pushed him after he's headed it. Why would you do that? I get frustration, but this is another free kick now. Josh Sheehan's just knocked one in. Oh, he's not going to score from there, obviously. I mean, I hope to God he hasn't going to score from there, but why put yourself under the pressure?
Yeah. It's just it's a real shame how that first goal goes in, isn't it? Because I mean, like with a free kick like that, I guess if you've got a guy who can deliver a good free kick, then good for you. And yeah, you can score goals like that, like we saw with Wing, several times in the. I'm sure people have been frustrated by Wing scoring free kicks at weird times in the last year, but. Just puts Bolton, like you were saying at the time, on the front foot right away. And really what we needed to do today was get the fans on the back of the team because, they're in a bit of a tough patch here. But look, I can't fault the players for having other things on their mind today. But we need to make sure that we don't let this become another season where we have to fight against relegation, where we have to fight against the bottom half of the table, because that would just add more pressure on top of what is already a real pressure cooker situation. Bolton have got a good chance there just by the ball hitting the back of one of their players, and Button's managed to come forward and punch it out. But what must he be thinking right now after being dropped, not being able to get back into the team over, it's really tough. Yeah, there's some. I'm just reading in the chat a little bit here, and I is Button still a good goalkeeper? Look, I don't think that third goal especially is necessarily Button's fault, but I think I would have probably kept Kanaya Boy's Clark today.
Ross, I really think the club have got to go to the EFL and say, look, we understand situations. Please, for love of everything, let us just get an emergency keeper in, because we can't. All right, the first goal was a free kick, second goal was a penalty, so you're 50-50 really in that. He's put it through his legs, but the confidence level now on these players
is right. Like, is that somebody? Just quickly, Dorset is down at the moment. The medical staff.
I tackle that. That was a naughty tackle from Charles. I didn't like that at all. It was from behind. It's late. Really poor challenge there.
He's feisty, Charles.
But he's been all right. If you're writing a report, all you're doing is talking about Dion Charles at the moment. He's been everywhere. Same with Josh Sheehan. That was a bad challenge.
Yeah,
in my opinion, really bad. And he's Dorset can hardly stand on that leg. He's off. He's not coming back.
Wim's made an interesting point in the chat about Smith. While Dorset's down here, we can go back to him a little bit. But he's saying he's not got Aziz, to provide that distraction this season. And the first few games of the season, we had Kelvin really playing out of his skin. And obviously we hope that Chem Campbell will, really become an issue that other teams have to focus on in their game plan as well. But if you don't have a player making space for your striker or providing the kind of service that he needs, then you're going to struggle. That's just unfortunately how it goes. So, yeah.
I mean, we've got a Brafer on now. who presumably will slot in at left back for the time being. There's only 6 minutes plus stoppage to go in the half, so you'd imagine that Braithwaite will just stay there rather than any major changes. But that was a bad tackle. That was a really bad tackle. He had to be helped off the pitch, Dorset, to take his seat in the dugout, unless he's gone straight down.
Yeah,
you know, they're in disarray at the moment, Reading. They really are, and it pains me to say it. It really does. But we just need half time. We just need to get him in and try and, as I said, it's damage limitation now, because
that looks really upset.
He's just lost the ball again. Michael Craig's lost the ball. Oh, it's a free kick, to be fair.
Let's talk about something a little bit more positive. Kelvin Braithwaite's hair looks great.
Yeah, do you know what? Fair play to him. It's a style that not many people could carry off, and he's done it. So
exactly, if you're looking for things that are positive,
he's driving a ball forward now, Ross. Ball's gone in.
Yeah. Michael Craig almost lost.
Goal Reading. I've just scared the cat. Goal Reading. Ben Elliott. What a great finish that was. Back in the game. Pick up the ball. Well done. Brilliant. Off we go. That was really good drive from Kelvin and Braithwaite. Goal Reading. Fans are on their feet.
I'm watching the replay now. Really nice cross into the box from a Braithwaite, and wow, what a finish from Elliott. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
See you later. That's a 5-a-side goal if ever I've seen one.
Very nice. Okay, so Braithwaite is driven into the Bolton half there, driven across the back of the box, or the front of the box. Sorry, that's actually a little bit behind some of the players, but. My word, the control from Elliott to get it on his chest and flick it in with the outside of his boot. It's in off. What a finish!
That's Tekka's. That's cheered me right up. The cat's still here. To be fair, look, I slapped the bed frame, and she sort of jumped. She's there. She's turned her back on me now.
It's a good question for chat, actually. What do your animals do when Reading score and you react accordingly? Because my French bulldog doesn't like it either. She gets a little bit scared when Reading score.
Well, I mean, she's used to it. She's a COVID cat, right? So obviously all the games were on TV or on streams or whatever. So she's used to me leaping around, kicking things. Not her, I'd never kick her, but stuff. Cushion went flying once. The Barnsley game, that was the worst of the lot.
Oh yeah.
I thought I was going to go for a wall. When Lucas Chow missed the chance. That ended our season. Anyway, shut up, Ben. It's 3-1 Reading. We're back in it, sort of. That was a really good goal. There's been a little bit of an uptick now. We're keeping the ball a lot better. See, this is the zip now. This is the pass that we want to do. We're keeping the ball. The players are showing for it. Yeah, working triangles. Ross, tactical analysis here, mate. We're doing the triangles again. This is lovely.
Doing the triangles. All right, here we go. I'm watching now. We got a Braithwaite, on the sideline. Yeah, I mean, they moved the ball around really nicely. Little one-touch plays and things like that. Wing dropping really far back, and nice. So Michael Craig there inverting into the middle, creating a double pivot. And it just really creates extra space for Reading to exploit the press. It takes 2 or 3 players out right away. To come back to them now, but a Braithwaite's cleaned up nicely and Wings right there and build up again with a pass through the lines. And really nice stuff at the moment. Here we go. Michael Craig on the right side again, trying to cut inside. I really think he's been good so far this season. And, I think I just think there's a lot of players out there in this new generation of footballers who are more about roles than positions necessarily. Oh, really nice chance. Ball's come into the box for Kelvin to knock down. He's laid off the ball for Ben Elliott here, and Elliott's put it, unfortunately, high and wide, but much, much better from Reading. And it's funny, Ben, because we were talking, just a minute ago correctly. Reading really need half time here, but now they
literally say what flipping dingbat said that we needed half time. We're in the ascendancy now.
Half time.
Right, Chem Campbell's done well to keep the ball there. He's under a lot of pressure. The strength there was great. Nice little turn. Just simple stuff for us. Just using the ball, as you would say, just recycling the football.
Yeah.
I said that today, actually, in coaching. We had a game today. We didn't do very well, but I used the phrase recycling. And I had you on my shoulder going, nice. Use the triangles, use the space. Where is your flipping double pivot?
What did you tell them about their legs?
Yeah, I said use your legs to good effect.
It's important.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. That's youth sports for you. Anyway, and Benge using his legs very nicely here gets Reading into the box. And Brafer really impressing since he came on, I will say.
He has done very well.
Really,
he's brave for fresh air.
He is a Brafer fresh air. Right now, Reading fans, a Brafer, your left back, is operating on the right with Ben Elliott. Meanwhile, Michael Craig, your right back, is in the middle of the field, creating a double pivot. So the level of some of the tactics that are coming out in League One these days are quite... It's just quite remarkable. And the fact that like these players at this age understand this stuff is really impressive to me personally.
That wasn't a bad. You would call that a clear-cut chance. Would you say he lofted that goal in? I would say that was a really deft little.
I went with dink. I think it's a dink. Personally.
Oh, is it a dink?
Yeah.
All right, we'll play dink then.
In off the post. But have you ever heard of a doink in American sports? A double doink is when it hits.
Sounds like something I should eat.
Yeah, double doink is delicious. No, 5 minutes of extra time here for Reading to maybe... I mean, if Reading can find another goal here before the half is out, then really game's on for the second half, because this is what we need, right? We need Bolton on the back, or Bolton's fans on the back of their team.
I'll tell you what's just happened. I've got about half my water bottle. Well, I've got the water bottle. It's not half the bottle. I've got half the water in the bottle. And I went to drink and I went too hard with it. And it splashed back. It went straight up my nose.
Oh, my word. Sorry. We've got a really, really nice chance of running there. And Benge trying to redeem himself for his penalty earlier. Ball comes over from a corner wing with the second chance to deliver the cross. And, oh, my gosh, he does everything right. Heads the ball into the ground so that it's bouncing, going towards the side netting. And the keeper has made a fantastic save there.
Who was that from originally? I can't believe you just interrupted me there.
I'm sorry, but I had to.
Who was that save from? Was it from the Bengal?
Coming in again from the corner, and Craig is following up here with the second chance to deliver. Falls to Mbenge in the box, and there's a scramble. Oh my goodness, Nibs has just put the ball just wide. Bolton really on the ropes here. Reading could do with another goal before halftime.
Stuff them, the trotters.
On the. Oh my goodness.
That got you out of your seat, didn't it?
That really did get me off my seat.
Yeah. Out of it. All right, so we've had a good chance from Bell Elliott with a nice chance.
Oh, and then Elliott's put it over to end that sequence of corners. Nice little sequence in Reading there, though, and showing a few different kind of set play routines to really get some chances on the ball, which is great.
So we had chances from Benge and Nibs with a nice save from the chucked in between. Nice.
If you're wondering what the typing is, everybody, that's me desperately trying to do the tweets for the Tilehurst End channel at the same time as doing.
Say something like, "We're in better spirits than we were originally."
We are in better spirits than we were. Help me workshop the tweets, chat, and we'll go from there. But yeah, hey, I mean, this has been much better from Reading since Brafer came on, and I've had a few games where I think Dorset's been good, since he came into the team last season. But there's been a few this season where he's made some interesting mistakes, and I wonder if maybe now for the Huddersfield game, Brafer might get a start. But if Dorset is injured, unfortunately, we might be forced into
just giving away another penalty, Ross.
Oh dear, yeah. Tyler Binden's given away a penalty. And that is not good at all. Charles here looking for his hat trick in the first half. He's really got a problem with Button here. There's something going on between Button and the and Charles here. Charles standing over the spot again. Did you see what happened with Binden? I didn't really see there.
Went the right way, but he just can't really do anything with it. This is the problem, isn't it? This is this club all over, right? We get to the point where we're 3-0 down, right? We're able to get a goal back. I mean, he should have saved that. I'm sorry, but he should have saved that. He was inches away from it. He's gone the wrong way to start with, and that one step means that he can't stop the ball. Why did he move?
One step is so important in goalkeeping. Your first
Why,
step.
why did he move? It's ridiculous. And again, I'm not getting on his back individually, but there is no point if you're just stay in the center of the goal. And then he's got a big wingspan. Why would you move that? Because that one step took him away from saving the penalty in the first place.
Yeah. It's not ideal. I think part of it, Ben, is because I've talked about it last year, but Button is weak going to his right. Really, really
he's
weak
come out
going to
now.
his right.
I mean, he's managed to clear the ball there, Button, but that was just wild. He could have given another way a penalty there.
Yeah,
I mean, go on.
We'll watch that back. So I was just going to say, sorry, Button is weak going to his right. But yeah, let's talk about this play. So Bolton play the ball forward behind the line, behind Craig, and yeah, you're right. Button actually makes a pretty good slide there, but it's dangerous, and that is the problem with having a player. Like I've talked up Craig a lot this season, because I really like what he's doing there. But that is the issue with having a player who, sure, he played in the academy, but is not typically a right back playing there, because sometimes just like how you're making up space and how you're defending in that position is important to the outcomes. And I think Craig sometimes leaves a little bit of space in behind him because Mbenge can cover it with his legs, but it does pull Reading out of shape a few times. Long throw into the box here from Mbenge as the half is coming to a close. Smith tries to get close to it, can't do it. And we've gone out for a corner here. We're over injury time. I'm sure this will be halftime very, very shortly here. At least I got my coffee. That's the important thing.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. For those just catching up, joining, whatever, you've probably seen the score, but it's 4-1. We've the goal was good. It did pep us up a little bit. I'm sure you'll be able to watch this back in terms of the very brief joy that this football club brings us these days. Good goal by Ben Elliott. Really, really nice finish. Good work from Calvin Braithwaite, who came on for Dorset, who was injured from a pretty bad challenge from hat-trick man Dion Charles. But we've ended the half 4-1 down. I was going to say 4-1 to the good, if only. Really not. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's not much to say about the half. The scoreline tells you the picture.
What I've said is a half defined by poor set pieces given away, a free kick outside the box, and 2 sloppy penalties. And there you go. Not what you want at all. It's just really not the like you say, really not the result that we needed today, given the week that Reading have just had. So hey ho, what can you do? I keep saying maybe it's the darkest before the dawn, and it's real dark, guys. It's gonna be all right though. Oh, see now here you go. They've got all the water on the surface, so maybe they're trying to make it slick as you can. But my word, it really can be tricky sometimes. How's my mic? Dan in chat, let us know if it sounds any better, and just try to turn it up a little bit.
Really. It's down in chat, is it?
I think it's down in the chat. Reading fans, if you have any questions during this halftime break, obviously get them in. You can get them in here. You can get them in on Twitter. And we'll go from there.
If they score another goal, do you stop the live stream? Well, that's a good point.
How many goals? Yeah, how many goals? Until we give up on this whole thing. No. We're in it for the long run. You came to see a car crash, and a car crash you will see. And we've been going for over an hour here. I'm quite proud of that. Yeah, so I can see the stats here. Reading with more possession of the ball. Not the possession matters that much, but same number of shots here. Like more successful crosses, more successful dribbles. It's just not going well for Reading in all the key moments, really, is it? Bolton naturally a little bit further in their own half. They're winning more tackles. They're clearing the ball out. Or having to clear the ball out more often. But just Reading really poor in the attacking third when it comes to getting the passes quickly around the box. They do build up incredibly well, but they just really struggle once they get to that final third to generate much. And I see so many crosses going to the front of the box and it just slows the whole momentum of the attack. Like they have to come back, the attackers have to come back to the ball. The center backs then follow them out with it. And I'm sure that the idea is to then, try and push the ball around the corner for Kelvin or for Chem Campbell to try and wriggle around and find a cutback. But it just seems like an unnecessary extra step, in my opinion. But I don't know the whole joined up game plan. I could be wrong about that.
It's very, very difficult at this stage to see us, getting anything. However, look, the one thing I would say, and I'm not trying to sit here and be everything's gone to trash, because that goal really for Reading came out of nothing. That they didn't look like they were capable of doing that. A Brafer, potentially a rush of blood to the head, but it was a very, very controlled move going forward. And Elliot is capable of that. It was a really, really nice goal, and that's the issue. That is always the issue, is that you go, okay, well, hold on, they're giving us a little bit of glimmer of light, a little bit of hope there, and then they go and do that. I mean, I don't know what Bindon's thinking now. I really don't. Defensively, they've been absolutely shot, and that's not me trying to say a different word, i.e., replacing the O with an I. They are devoid of confidence defensively. The only one who's coming out of any credit today is Michael Craig, as you said earlier, Ross. So that's a problem. When you've got four of your back five not having a good day, and people go, oh, Button or whatever, but he's got to do better with the penalty. He doesn't need to move. It shouldn't have gone through his legs either. He's committed himself, really. So overall, this has been a pretty tragic day at the office for the players on the pitch. And if you were Sellers now, Ross, what do you do? What change do you make first? Bear in mind, you already had to make one enforced. What do you do? Who do you bring off?
God.
There has to be change. He can't roll them out for the second half. There has to be something that shows, okay, we're going to try and get something back in this game.
I don't know what they changed though. I mean, maybe. I mean, Elliot is finding himself in the. Elliot's finding himself in space relatively well. Nibs hasn't done a whole lot right now, but do you think that Savage would solve that necessarily? I think Chem Campbell has been probably okay. I mean, it's not a good performance all round right now.
I don't think you swap Campbell at this stage. I don't think. On a part, for me, the first player you take off is Smith, because it's clearly not working. I'm not saying that it's his fault necessarily.
Yeah.
But in the system, he comes off for me, and you stick Wareham up there. I think you bring Savage on anyway. I think Nibs has been okay, but again, remember he's coming back from injury, and Savage
you're right.
The one thing you're going to get with Savage, as I said earlier, is that bite and that energy and that drive. Look, the bottom line is, Ross, they can't be any worse, can they? Even if they're going chipping another 3 goals or whatever, they cannot be any worse than they were defensively in that first half.
That's the weird
thing. If you push Savage up a little bit more, you're going to allow Wing to drop back a little bit like he has in previous games, and he just offers that little bit of protection to what is essentially players having a terrible off day.
He's on a yellow though now, isn't he? Which makes it.
Well, do you know what I mean? Like, it was a stupid tackle to make there, but he's done it. The ref's giving it. All right, 9 times out of 10, Josh Sheehan isn't going to do that, but it was a great finish. And this is it. Like you said, you hit the nail on the head there with whatever you said on that tweet, is that Reading have been victims of their own downfall because they're giving away 2 penalties and they're giving away a free kick on the edge of the area, and they've all been scored. That's 3 goals from set pieces, that things that didn't need to happen.
Yeah, it's really not good. I want to touch briefly on what you said about removing maybe or replacing Smith for the second half. I don't think that's a bad idea. And what you said about Nibs too, with him being, coming back from injury. So we need to manage that. And maybe, he would be the player to come off. I think maybe you put Nibs up front for 15 minutes and you let him do that. And then you bring on Wareham. But I agree, it's not Smith's day. And yeah, I guess there's a larger issue there, because he was good last season. We talked about it, on videos and on the podcast a lot, and he was able to do a lot with a little. But he's not able to. He's struggling to find pockets of space away from the center backs at the moment to even get that little to do a lot with in the first place. Sam Smith, and yeah, just not his day again, and something for Reading to work out. I think again, it's a bit of a chicken and egg scenario. Like, what is the issue?
Oh, what? Did you say chicken and egg?
Yeah, it's what came first, the chicken or the egg? So what
did you definitely say chicken?
Yeah, chicken and the egg.
I
Yeah.
thought you said something different. I had to
Go on,
stop
don't
myself.
stitch me up. We're live.
No, no, I mean, I
Um,
just didn't realise that you. I didn't. It didn't sound like chicken.
okay. All
It
right.
sounded something else. I'm not saying it's rude. I'm just saying it just didn't sound
Well,
like the
look,
word.
it's
Which
it's
is
it's
what
about what comes first, the KFC or the egg,
Mm,
and
exactly.
is our Reading playing poorly, like in
Yes.
the final third? No. Are
Oh,
Reading playing poorly in the final third, and that's affecting Sam Smith's ability to play, or is Sam Smith playing poorly, and that is affecting Reading's ability to play in the final third because he is the player that they are bouncing off in the final
mm.
third? So yeah, what do you say if your sellers, like you were saying? I think you do the cliched thing and you say go and win the second half, don't you?
Yeah. Or what you say. I don't know why I'm laughing because I'm close to tears, really. But what you could say is just keep it tight, lads. It's still 0-0, and he won't say that because he's a professional football manager. But do you know what I mean? Like I'm thinking if I was coaching, and you were coaching,
Yeah,
which we do. Obviously, you're a lot longer in the game than I am. But in terms of that, your team's 4-1 down at halftime. What do you say to your team in that position?
yeah,
Go and
yeah.
do the basics, which you haven't done in the first half. Stop giving away fouls in dangerous areas. Just do the basics. And the thing that really pisses me off, and I shouldn't swear, I'm sorry, everybody, but like they just give the ball away so cheaply. They make it so easy for these teams to play. Like they're just smashing it away. Just compose yourself. The goal's
Mm,
already gone. Take it down. Have a breath. Use the ball. Don't just find people in red shirts.
yeah,
Stop giving them the ball because it just comes straight back. Don't go long because it just comes straight back. Just work the triangles. The best spells that we had were when we were able to work it out from the back. There was a
yeah,
little bit of movement straight after the goal. We were up there. We were really pushing it. We were really using the ball well. We're getting the passing stats up. But actually, every time you don't do that, you just give them the invite to come and attack us. And Dion Charles well, I mean, he's converted, he's ripped us apart. And the goal they scored from open play, it was just too easy for him, just too easy for him. So I would expect to see changes. I would expect to see Savage come on. I would expect to see Wareham come on. Defensively, I don't know what you can do. I really don't know. I would be saying to them, just work it out, lads. Look, you got us in this situation. Try and get us out of it from the back. You can't
yeah.
sub the goalkeeper half time because
No,
that's
no.
career suicide, isn't it, for a goalkeeper? You just can't do that. So it's very, very difficult, really. All I'm thinking about is Ajax on Tuesday night, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say, quite frankly. But I'm looking forward to getting down the stadium watching under 21s play Ajax just to
Yeah.
see some football. It what do you say at this point? I really don't know. I really don't know.
Look, I mean, it is. I think I'm gonna read out a reply to one of the tweets here. So yeah, from Luke 1871, he's just saying, mistakes lost us the game last week, and it's happening again.
He's right though, isn't he?
He
He
is
is
right.
right.
Yeah. Two penalties and whatever you call the free kick we conceded. Everyone at the club is going through hell. And where confidence, where is it right now? And it is really tough, but you're right. Like I think Luke, you are right. Like I'm seeing individual mistakes in a lot of these goals that we're conceding at the moment, and that is like that's another old cliched phrase about football, isn't it? That goals are a result of two or three mistakes back to back. But we're seeing mistakes. I don't want to throw any particular players under the bus. I think that Dorset's not having a good game again here, and that's an issue. I think Reading looked a lot better moving forward when Abrafa came onto the pitch, and Craig and Abrafa were able to have some of Reading's better moments with the ball going forward. I think that what you were saying
Yeah.
about playing the quick triangles, some of the good work that Reading were doing between minutes like 40 and 48, after including extra time, were from Craig Elliott and Chem Campbell linking up down the right side and kind of using that link up play to generate a little bit of space to get across into the box. But it's got to be better. It's got to be. They need to come out of the blocks flying here if they
We
want to
do.
get anything out of the game. But hey, again, it only takes a minute to score a goal, and Bolton have scored 4 in 45, so maybe we can score 4 in 45.
But they, you know, if I'm just looking at like very, very surface level stats, right? You know, we've had more possession marginally than they have, which I find incredible, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, it's actually 52% now. I thought it was less than that, but it's 52. We've had 8 shots, yeah. 3 on target. They've had 7, and they've had 5 on.
Had 3 of those at least. Elliot is always the player in space. Reading back out for the second half here, by the way.
But this goes back to my point. We've had 180 passes to their 169. So it's not like we've gone, have the ball, lads, see what you can do. And this is what Luke said on the tweet, right?
Yeah.
I've literally just cut my thumb, which is real. I'm not going to get past it. Don't have done that. This is what he said. It's individual mistakes. So it's not like we've gone, lads. We're quite happy to sit here, take 30% possession. Get the ball when we can or whatever. Like, we've had more of the ball than they have. We've used the ball more than they have, but they've ended up netting 4 goals and 3 of those from set pieces. And this is the most frustrating part of this. And Luke is spot on, because last week that was a very similar story, but the individual mistake led to us losing that game. I think if we even get a draw out of last week, let alone a win, and we get something out of that game, I don't think anyone looks at this game and goes, look, you know what, Bolton are due a massive win. Just let them have it. We move on for the season. But because of last week, because of what happened off the pitch, or what is continuing to happen off the pitch, this is where everyone gets heightened. I'm looking through tweets here now, and people have just gotten digging individual players out, which I get. I do understand that. But it is that frustration. It's really that frustration of those individual mistakes, and it's going to keep costing us. It really is.
It's tough. I think funny little play for a funny little run through from Elliot when he's doing his warm ups. He always takes a look behind him before he takes the pass. Classic stuff. Good stuff for all young players. Do that. Look behind you when the ball is arriving. I think that you can see that there are some patterns of play that Reading have coached into this team that they do almost on autopilot now. We talked through preseason about how, a lot of the players from the youth teams and things like that have come into the team and been able to just immediately sink in and work out what it is that they need to do in the Sellers system. But when you're using so many young players, there are going to be mistakes, and that's what we're seeing. We saw it with Kenai Boyce Clark last week. We're seeing it from Dorset some weeks. Mbenge, less so a young player, but he's a player that has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. And yet he is still, a man in his early 20s living in a foreign country. Where he could barely speak the language, and doing his best to lead.
No, it's all true, Rob. It's all true. We've kicked off. There's been no subs.
Charles is trying to win penalties again in the Bolton box, though. So give us what you think.
Which I'm surprised by, if I'm honest. Very surprised that there's been no subs.
I just think it's tough, isn't it? Like, what do you? I mean, like, you could throw on a bunch of other players and try and get them to make the game different. But if you lose the game by an even bigger score, does that help the club?
Who's that? Is that Dacra Charles? Maybe is it Dacra Charles?
Charles, number 10, for Bolton. Wing steps forward and wings the ball nicely, but Elliot, sloppy play there, and just
giving the ball away again.
He's looking behind him when he receives the ball in the practice, in the warm-ups, and he's not done it, which is not ideal. Yeah, nice play from Charles, getting the ball, recycling it nice and quickly, and across it comes. From Bolton. Bolton get a shot across the box.
That's Matete, isn't it? Yeah. This is the problem. This, again, they give the ball away. That could have been another one. That was open play, carved open. He's obviously said to him, "Look, lads, get yourself out of it now. I'll give you 5-10 minutes. Just do anything and just try and get something out of the game here, or at least get a goal back in that time. But otherwise, you'd just start hooking people, wouldn't you?" Or am I being too harsh? I don't know. I've lost perspective. To be honest with you, I don't know what you do.
I think, to be honest, like I think it's best to just like send the team out for 15 minutes and see if they can do something, see if they can get a goal, see if they can start playing the way that that they're meant to play and not make any mistakes for 15 minutes, rather than chopping and changing anything. I think the only change I would have potentially made, like we talked about, was to add another midfielder in with maybe Savage for Smith. But even that, like I think that like I said, the structure isn't necessarily the issue. It's not necessarily not working. There are individual mistakes coming from lots of different places at the moment, and that's an issue. Wing gets a nice shot off from outside the box, but it's blocked by a Bolton player, and eventually the follow-up header from Nibs goes straight through to the goalkeeper. Weird little strawberry on the arms of the Bolton players.
I think it's to do with the Lancashire Rose, isn't it?
Oh, is that right? Okay. I didn't realize they were in Lancashire. My knowledge of the
Do you not know your history about War of the Roses?
Geography is awful. I do like the Wars of the Roses.
It's just about respect for us. It's not about geography. Like it's just about history. Really,
it's not a rose. It's not the War of the Strawberry.
I'm sure it's a rose. Let me text my mate. Is that what should I say? Is that a strawberry?
They've got a rose on them, but that's a strawberry. There's a weird strawberry on their shoulder patches. If anyone's in the chat can see the strawberry, please confirm for me.
Is it a, what do you say, strawberry?
Yeah, it looks like a strawberry to me. I think.
All right, I've asked him. I'll see what he says. In other news, Gareth McCleary scored an early goal for Wycombe, which has popped up on my feed. God knows why, but not God knows why he scored a goal. That's what he's paid to do. As in, like, why that's come up, I don't really know.
He's but Red looks like Reading have got a throw in right by the corner flag here on the left side. 49 minutes gone. Reading 4-1 down.
Is it only 49? Is it? Oh, good.
Yeah. You got 40 more minutes of this to go.
What are you on? What's your time index?
49, 16, 17, 18, 19. It is a strawberry.
I know it's going to go up in seconds, Ross. I'm not an idiot. Yeah, goodness me.
Just checking.
Ball's gone forward. Harvey's crossed it in. It's sort of gone away. Yeah, it's not really done anything. And you can tell by my lowered voice that I am losing the will to live a little bit.
All right, you're going to be okay. What do you do when you're there with at the games with your boy? How do you stay positive for him if it's not going well?
Well, do you know what? This season it's actually I didn't go to the Leyton Orient game, which was a monumental mess up. Can you stop asking me questions and interrupting me? Goodness me, it's so rude. Luckily, this season it's been all right at home. We didn't go to the Leyton Orient game. What do I do? He's really good actually because he will sit and watch the game and he focuses on. So he's a striker. So last season I said just watch the play that Smith comes up with, particularly in the latter half of the season. This time I just give him little things to look at, and he's really, really good. He kind of takes it on and stuff. And you can't. The education of going to a game live is you can't beat it. You really can't. And for any kids that play football, it's just a really positive thing to do. Yeah, he doesn't get too down about it, to be honest with you. Like he's still got a lot of time. It's sad that he's kind of started supporting Reading in possibly the worst period of time that they've ever had as a football club. So I think at this point, anyone of his generation will be like, yeah, that's nothing, mate. Do you know what I mean? We're a week away from administration. We had loads of people that were saying they're going to buy the club and didn't. And yeah, it's great education for them. They're never going to worry about anything again, are they? Once this all gets sorted.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, bring him a trial by fire, as it were. Reading with some nice plays here, by the way. In Bolton's half, they're zipping the ball around with those triangles that you were talking about.
They are
quite well.
Do you know what, Ross?
A good shot.
One of the positives is that the shirt looks incredible today.
I will say that.
Really is it's a lovely shirt. Ball's gone back now to Button. He's played it wide. A little bit of space open up. Bolton are quite deep at the moment, just recovering from that Reading counter attack. See, again, look, we're stringing the passes together now. And I know that people are going to be, if you're not a Reading fan, you're going to be sat there laughing watching this if you are sad enough to be watching a Reading fans like live feed and you aren't a Reading fan. But, when we pass the ball like this, it makes everyone feel a lot more comfortable. Having said that, Abreu has just given it away.
I think Abreu has been good, though. I think Abreu has been part of I think what he's doing has allowed Reading to play much better.
Yeah, it's been good.
So central here, which is quite interesting.
Ref, what are you saying?
Here we go. Ball's going forward. I've got the replay for you here. Abreu for pushing the ball forward. Kelvin, I just can't.
Kelvin knocked it in, didn't he? That's a good challenge. That's a really good challenge. Who's the number 6? That was fantastic.
Craig pushing the ball forward again here. 52 minutes gone. Kelvin always with 2 people on the back here, and there ball goes in. Yeah, you're right. Smith's so what Ben's talking about here, balls come in from Kelvin, and again, it's just a little behind or in line with Smith, and it's just not quite the ball that he wants. It's a good challenge from the number 6 for Bolton to block that and make sure that make sure that's not going in. Thank you to Libby, who says she's enjoying the live stream / therapy session.
Oh, thanks, Libby.
Yeah,
we're not.
I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm having a good old time. I'm not enjoying the game necessarily, but yeah.
What did you have for breakfast this morning, by the way? Because you just kind of pretty much done that, haven't you?
I have a breakfast. They had a breakfast sandwich, like a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Don't say it with behind you, like a secret. Like, I had a
breakfast sandwich. Yeah. It was very nice.
What was in it? What was in it?
Bacon, egg, and cheese. And then we put maple syrup on everything up here. So it's a little bit of maple syrup. Yeah.
Okay. Did you make that or did you go and buy it?
No, I went and bought it, of course.
I love that. I love that from you. I love the fact you didn't make it on a Saturday. That's amazing.
No. Like I'll make breakfast sometimes on a Sunday, but
no, you shouldn't have to, Ross. Shouldn't have to.
Actually, the listeners going down as we talk about breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, "Oh, shut up, you idiots!"
Yeah. Wing here standing over a free kick.
Free kick. Yeah, we'll get back on it. Sorry, guys.
Does look good in the captain's armband, I will say.
He does. Yeah, he's all right.
I do think he probably should be most weeks, but Yiadam's so far away from the team with his injury at the moment that this is just kind of how it has to work, isn't it?
Right. This is better from Reading. This is because they're being a little bit more proactive down the wings and in that final third. And Michael Craig just took the ball on, didn't quite get the pass off to, I think it was Nibs who showed for him wide. But there is a little bit of will in there. They're being a lot more proactive and they're pushing Bolton higher up the pitch. And this is what we need. That we've got a throw in now for Bolton, and there's pressure straight away. The ball is coming straight back into our final third, and that's exactly what we want. They're missing tackles. Who's that? Go on, Ben Elliott. Slipped it through. It's a pen, ref. That's a pen. 100% that's a pen. Yeah. Good boy. Sam Smith, great run. You'll see this in a minute, Ross. A couple of seconds behind me. Really nice run. That is superb drive from Ben Elliott. He's jumped one tackle. That Sam Smith has played the field there 100%. As he clipped him, that is a very light touch, but that is what we need right now. We need a little bit of gamesmanship. And Santos, he's livid. He's absolutely livid.
Yeah, fantastic run from Elliott. You're exactly right. Really good run from Elliott, and Elliott could have gone down for a free kick outside of the box. It keeps himself.
Oh no, Smith has got it.
I might be a little bit upset if I was a Bolton fan there, but I'd also be 4-1 up, so I wouldn't be that upset, I suppose.
VAR says no to that, Ross. If they go and view that on the video screen or whatever you want to call it, VAR says no way to that. Sam Smith has played a blinder there. That is really intelligent forward play. Is he going to knock this in? Come on, Sammy. Come on, Sammy. Give it some. Oh, that's a great pen, Ross. He's absolutely the goalie's all ends up. He's blown a kiss to the Bolton fans. I wouldn't be doing that, Sam, if I'm honest with you. You're still 4-2 down, mate. But I don't care because you've just not won in. That's a great pen. That is cool as you like that.
Dancing.
I don't think the ball's not really on the spot. Who cares? Yeah, that's a really nice penalty. Goalie's gone to ground before it's even hit the. That's
giving it. It doesn't look like from what I can see. So it doesn't look like a shushing the Bolton fans. It looks like giving a kiss to the Reading fans. I'm going to go with that.
If you're in the corner, then all right, we'll take it back. We'll take it back.
Well,
and he's the most handsome man in Berkshire, isn't he? We said that. So we've said that numerous times, regardless how he's been played.
That's the most handsome house share in Berkshire, I'll tell you that much. All right. Well, Reading here. I mean, like, look, they got 34 minutes. They're playing better. They've
Mhm.
had 2 of the last 3 goals. So look, it's looking a little bit better here. And again, like the structure kind of works. Like the
Yeah.
what they're trying to do kind of works. It's just when they make these individual mistakes. But when you have so many young players, you're going to see individual mistakes. It is an issue. So. Ooh, but I don't know, man. I think Bolton conceded 4 last week. Can they do it again? Can we really send their fans into
Well, listen, I'm
panic?
going to be honest with you. If moving away from us a little bit, like if Bolton end up lobbing this game in the bin, Ian Evatt goes tonight.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You don't want to see people losing their jobs, and frankly, I don't really care. I like Ian Evatt, but Bolton, and nothing to do with me. But Bolton don't get anything out of this game. He goes tonight, 100%.
Yeah,
Because
I completely agree with that.
No, it's
So
tit for
lucky
tat.
there. And Bangate has gone down in a place where, if the ref hadn't blown up, we could have really been in trouble there. So well done to Mbenge to win the free kick, I guess. Oh, Alex Emmett asks, "Where's your Ding shirt, Ben? Where's your Reading shirt?"
Alex, if you, I don't know if you joined us before. Basically, like I've worn this because it's the Newbury show this weekend, and I'm not physically there. But at Newbury show, they have prize cows that they parade in a ring, and they're great cows. Is why I don't eat beef really.
What?
I like to.
Hang on a minute. Right.
And this shirt, this France shirt, is like I kind of get close to it. You see it online. It's got like a tapestry, and in the middle there's like 2 cows grazing, and that's why I'm wearing this shirt. Basically, do you know I've only got. I don't want people to feel sorry for me, but I've only got 2 Reading shirts, and they're both goalkeeper shirts. Yeah, I know.
What? I know. That can't be. You don't have a blue and white one?
No, I don't have a blue and white one. No.
What are you talking about? That is so
strange. It was just guiding away shirts.
All right, let's go back to the game, but we're going to talk about that on the podcast this week.
No,
you better believe we're going to talk about that. It has 2 shirts.
The one I really wanted to get, and I didn't, and I messed up because, well, it was because of the. I'm going to be honest, it was the fan store at the time. They messed up. I'd always planned to buy the 150th one, the blue and white one, and I never did.
That is. I thought you had one at some point. The one with no name on it or something like that.
I've got away shirts. I just haven't got a blue and white one.
Okay. Have you got Button's goalkeeper shirt? Button's just come out and played the ball to Wings dropping really deep and build up again, guys. Just to check in here. 59 minutes gone. Reading haven't really done much in the last few minutes. Ball forward here for Kelvin though, and he can't quite get on the end of it before the Bolton keeper has come forward. I do like the Bolton goalkeeper shirt. This is a nice Macron game. This one, the best kit makers in Bologna.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a big Macron fan.
Nibs wins the ball in midfield really, really well and Wings onto it right away. Pass from Wing is just a little bit sloppy for Chem Campbell, but he does really well to use his body and get back. He's got I like him on the ball, Chem Campbell. I really do. I think that the way that he approaches the ball is really tough for defenders to know what he's going to do next.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but now is the time to make subs. Nibs looks tired. I would get him off now, and I would get Charlie Savage on
midfield, though.
I know, but you know what I mean. I would make that sub. I would. Yeah. I would liven it up a bit now because Bolton are a little bit shaky at the moment. We just need to turn the screw a bit more, and just keep the ball up. We're doing that really well. All right, okay. Nibs is showing a bit more for it. I'll shut up. That's a good ball for me. They're panicking now, Bolton. They're just hacking the ball away. They are hacking the ball away. It's coming straight back.
But I mean, like they need a win desperately, right? So this is when you start thinking about it. This is when you start seeing, 60 minutes on the clock.
Great challenge, Amadou. That great challenge. Don't let Dion Charles score anymore. The greedy little so and so.
Oh, so close to a Brafer managing to win the ball back there on the edge of the box, and the ball just sliding through. Yeah, so I'm watching this this challenge here now. Craig all the way over on the left back sort of position.
Yeah, I don't know why he's gone over there.
But fantastic. Yeah, good challenge from Mbenge there to just stall up the Bolton attack.
Ross, what would you be saying if you were on the sidelines now, you're Ruben Sellers, lucky you, what would you be saying to the players at this point? What would be your advice in terms of managing the game at this point?
Where's all my hair gone? What would
John,
I be?
we'll go in there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
My
know.
fullbacks are so far up the pitch. They're losing. Look, blooming, it's
Yeah.
stressed me out.
No, you're a wing back kind of man. It's good.
Mm.
No. So what would I be saying if I was Sellers right now? I'd be saying you need to win like everyone. You need to win like all of your duels for the first 20 minutes. So you've really got to go out there and I think the first thing he would have said was go and get a goal nice and early.
Yeah.
Because that's just that's the way to put pressure on them, and they've managed to do that. I think he'll be saying to them now, all right, like let's be smart again and not completely expend all of our energy when we still got half an hour to go. Bolton were 2-0 up within 20 minutes, so I mean Reading could get to the 70th minute here without scoring another goal and still get a point out of this game. And Libby made a really good point in the chat where she says, I hope we see a replay of the 4-4 against Swansea. It's funny that we talked about Tom McIntyre earlier today, so maybe we can manifest that.
Matete's come off, Arfield's come on. That's probably not a bad thing for us, really. Matete he started the half pretty well. I didn't really see too much of him in the first half. I might have missed it a bit, but
no, I thought Matete was good today. I think he was holding the ball up really nicely and giving Bindon some trouble with him trying to win duels and things like that. So, not the worst thing for Bolton, but they needed to change something at this point because Reading have had all of the play in the second half so far. But again, they've had all of the play when they started a half 3 goals down. Like Reading could have a really good half here, one of their best halves of the season, and still come up short in terms of getting a point. And that's where the individual mistakes hurt you.
I don't want to make excuses in terms of where we're at, right? But what I would say, just going around the grounds very quickly, we had Exeter beat Stevenage 2-0. Don't think that's a major surprise. Lincoln City, Wigan drew 0-0. Obviously 4-2 with us at the moment on 65-ish minutes. Yeah. Barnsley are currently beating Burton 1-0. Blackpool are beating Charlton at the Valley 2-0. Okay. On top of that, Northampton are at Huddersfield and they are beating them 3-0. We've got Mansfield 1, Shrewsbury 1, Peterborough 3, Bristol Rovers 0, Rotherham 0, Birmingham 2. But here's the interesting one, Ross. Stockport County 1, Leyton Orient 3. And Leyton Orient are away from home. So, there are some interesting indifferent results here, and there are still teams struggling to get any sort of form going. Obviously, you'd imagine now Birmingham will start to pull away. Wrexham will be there or thereabouts. They're currently drawing 1-1 with Crawley at home, which again is going to be a great result for Crawley if they can pull that off. And then Wycombe 1, Cambridge 1. So there are some really odd results flying around today. I'm not saying ours is odd or unexpected, but what I am saying is that we're coming to the back end of September, and there are clubs that are still trying to find their feet. They're still trying to find where they are in this league, and that's the same for us. We said this on the pod time and again. We don't really know where we're at. We had an all right start to the season, or probably better than all right. If we lose this game today, I don't think anyone else at the start of the season would have really been surprised that was the case. So it's very yeah, exactly. And this is the point. There's a lot of football to play for, and really, if we can get a draw out of this game or incredibly, win it 5-4 or something.
Steady on, lads. Steady on.
Oh, look, I mean, you got to be positive, right? You have to be. You have to just keep going. The players I will say the players are giving it some this half. They're really trying. They're really cutting out those individual mistakes. Ball's gone forward. Elliot, possibility of hitting
nice
hand.
Little play to kind of link things up in the middle. It breaks down when it falls to Smith, unfortunately. Yeah. You think you can talk for 2 minutes about the game?
Why? Where are you going?
I'm going to go to the bathroom.
All right, I'll talk. It's just me, is it?
Yeah, it's just
brilliant.
you. I'll be right back.
Okay, fine. I might do some play-by-play, actually. Okay, go on. Oh, he's gone. Right, cool. Hello. So basically, we're doing all right. We're doing a bit better this half. Ball just come in for Bolton. They've kind of faffed around with it a bit. Shot well wide. Almost gone out for a throw in there. So that's not good. Well, it's good for us, but it's not good for Bolton. I just, as I was saying, I just feel like there's still a lot more to come from this team. And I know we can obviously talk about the ownership, which we don't really want to do today, but there is potential with this team. There really is. And there is commitment to the cause from these players. Binden's been fouled there. That's blatant. That's a yellow card, ref. That's 100% a yellow card. He's not even played the ball, Scott Arfield. He's just pulled him back by the neck of his shirt. Honestly, this won't make any headlines, but that really frustrates me from a referee point of view. Binden played the ball forward and was bringing the ball forward. He's just been pulled back by his shirt. There's no attempt to even tackle him cleanly. He's just been taken out. That's cynical. That's a cynical foul. You know, Scott Arthur was, hello. Oh, good save. Corner ball, Reading. Corner put in. Well done. Good goalkeeping from Nathan Baxter, I have to say. But Kelvin Bitterman, that was a looper. Oh, he's at the crossbar. He wasn't a save. He's at the crossbar. Goodness me, what a strike that was. Goalie was all ends up. He had no chance with that. And it's gone out for a corner. That was very, very unlucky. Out of nothing, Big Kelvin has smashed one against the top bar. Ball's come in. He's gone back in. It's being recycled well, as Ross would say. Ball in. Shot. The ball's all over the place. I can't even see it. Right, Bolton are going to clear this now. That was really, really unlucky from Kelvin. Really, really good stuff. On the edge of the box, on the right-hand side, he just lofted it in. I thought the goalie had got to it to start with. And now the tackles are flying in. This game is ignore the scoreline. This game is open now. Kelvin just hit the crossbar. He's just lofted it in. I thought the goalie had saved it, Ross. I thought the goalie had saved it. They recycled the ball really well. He's lofted. I mean, look at that shot. This game is wide open. I'm telling you now. As I said, ignore the result. Now the changes come. Now we're in a ascendancy. Now the changes come. This is good game management from Sellers.
Yeah, Ian says if we do get a point here, imagine the boost it would give the club. What is the who's the change for me?
Looks. I didn't see it, to be honest with you. I just saw someone.
Right. We're gonna pull it up.
Blood red marbled shirt appear on the touchline. I couldn't see who it was. Sorry, everybody.
Blood red marbled shirt. Crimson. Is it crimson? I'm not really sure.
Nah, it's blood red, isn't it?
All right. Fair enough.
I was just saying, Ross. I mean, this won't be on the highlights, but Binden just carried the ball forward earlier.
Yeah.
And Scott Arfield was out of position. He was obviously blowing. He needs to do something. He just pulled him by the back of his shirt, by his neck. Ref, it's a cynical foul. No yellow card. That just annoys me. Ball's cleared. Yeah. Is it going? No, well done. Who's that? Well played. The feed I'm watching is so small. It's an EFL feed. It's all legal, but it's just I can't.
Yeah, you can't quite see. Next time I'll get you. We'll work it out for next time. Hey, listeners, thank you for joining us today. By the way, this is obviously our first.
Nibsy's carrying forward now, Ross. Stop thanking everybody and watch the game. Nibsy's lost possession, but he's taken the ball up the foot and he's just clocked someone. Love to see it. The ref's obviously going to give him a yellow because the ref really, along with any EFL officials, don't really like us. That was a nice meaty challenge. Just have some of that. I'm in the game.
Oh,
bang.
Yeah, that's probably a yellow, isn't it? But just about.
From Big Kelvin, I have to say that was a great strike. That was a really nice lofter. And the goalie had no chance with that whatsoever. I thought he'd saved it. I thought he'd got his top bit to it, but he didn't. Really nice.
Has he been booked for that, Nibs? He has been.
Yeah.
Good drive forward, really. But he's just overrun it, and it's the second tackle. He's actually, the ref's allowing him to compete pretty hard with the first guy he's going after, but the second guy that tackle's a little unnecessary. Right after Kelvin's got that shot against the crossbar, Conde is on for Reading. So interesting now to see what happens. Looks like Chem Campbell has gone over to the left-hand side. Yeah. And I'm just
what have we swapped then? Sorry, it was the sub?
Let me see here. Kelvin has come off, and a Conde has come on. A Conde has gone out to the position we've seen him in so far this season, which is on the right hand side. Chem Campbell can play anywhere. And actually quite a few of the clips I was watching of him, certainly from Charlton, were on the left side. As much as the right side. He did play more on the right side for Wickham. But yeah, good to have a player who can play either side. I mean, there's some mixed opinions about Chem Campbell. I'm looking at now in the on the Reading hashtag on Twitter and things like that. But I think he's been all right so far, personally. All right, I'm just getting up in that update onto the Tilehurst End Twitter feed here for anyone following that way. Kelvin withdrawn for Akande, who goes in at right wing. Oh, so close for Smith there as the ball comes over the top.
Yeah.
All right, here we come. Craig with the ball, trying to drive into the middle of the field here. Just can't quite find that ball forward for Smith, but it's pretty direct from Reading at this point. You know, they're getting the ball and they're moving it forward pretty quickly. Good of that. I mean, obviously the energy is there. You know, the desire to try and get back into this game, which is good. Akande, obviously not started the last two games and may have been, frustrated by that. So a good chance for him here to show that, he should still be starting, I guess. And there is a world, like we're playing Kelvin consistently at left wing now, but I think Kelvin might be the player that Sam Smith needs to look over his shoulder in terms of losing his position to more than Wareham, personally, in my head, just because he's further along in his development. And he is a player that we already last season were playing, at the centre forward position. So we can clearly play Chem Campbell on the left if we want to, and it's a good option for the future. Sellers hasn't gone with it here, but we could see a forward line of Campbell on the left, a Hib Hasherman in the middle, and a Conde on the right. Lots of pace, lots of power in that front line.
We are still here, by the way. We're both just caught up with writing things for your viewing.
Away and writing.
Oh, Cat's just jumped on the laptop. Don't do that. That little chirp that you had wasn't a cat. She just jumped on the laptop. She's decided she's going to move now.
If your cat makes sounds like a computer, I'm quite impressed. Really, game's going to be flat for the last couple minutes, guys. Oh, it's not I think it. Oh, is it a lion or a rhino or a monkey? The weird Bolton mascot. No, you're right. It's a lion. Weird lion, though, isn't it? I don't like that. Kingsley's much better. So, whatever happens today, fans, remember, Kingsley, we've got a better lion. So that's quite exciting. I saw Princely back the other day.
Yeah.
What's that all about? Well, I was like, I thought that wasn't allowed.
They are allowed to be there.
No, I know, but I thought Princely gets a reaction from the fans that's quite amusing. Oh, well done, Elliot, on the edge of the box. Akande just can't quite wriggle free there for a good shot, and that's a real shame. That's a real shame.
We're doing all right. Like, again, I to say, ignore the scoreline. We've been much better this second half. I have to say, I really do.
Yeah.
We have been a lot better.
Yeah. I agree.
My feed's gone down, so that's helpful, isn't it?
Well, I'll keep you up to date. Don't worry. We've got a Brafer passing back to Bindon, who really wing now a little bit further. Oh no, wing there just alongside Bindon, and Benge almost out in the right back space because Craig moves so in turn. They're playing balls through the channels a lot here, Reading. They're trying to find, often in the half space, they're sending pretty flat forward balls along the floor. Forward, testing kind of the lines in between the back three for Bolton here. Not quite working at the moment, but you can see the intent. They're trying to play the ball to Smith's feet rather than playing the ball up in the air to him, where it's just not really what he's going to succeed at with this particular setup. There we go. I'm going to show that.
What minute are you on?
Production value. Bolton 4, Reading 2. Very good.
That's where the budget's gone. Thank you to our sponsors, ZC Films, by the way. They don't know they're sponsoring this, but they sponsor anything we do. We didn't tell them we were doing this, but the main leader.
chuck out a bunch of nonsense every few days, and
I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, Voldemort has retweeted the fact we were going to do this, so that by definition is an endorsement of what we were doing. They are sponsoring this. ZZZ Films. We love them very much. We're very, very grateful to them. We're very, very grateful, as Ross said, for you guys chipping in on your Saturday afternoon to watch two idiots waffle on about streams that are not connected in terms of timings. I'm going to ask Ross again what minute he's on, because my stream went down.
Oh, I didn't tell you, did I? Sorry, I'm on 77:08.
Fine, I'm on 77:48. 40 seconds.
Gosh, you're so far ahead. Okay.
40 seconds is a long time in football, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, so I was saying,
when you consider that
score a goal.
Man United won the treble in 40 seconds, that's quite, that's quite a long time, isn't it? So
yeah. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Anyway, we're kind of not quite the dying embers of this football match, but we're getting close. If you're still sticking with us, you're a hero. We appreciate you. Honestly, we really do. I'm not saying that flippantly. It's been great to share this with you. I can't see any comments, so that's why Ross is doing that. Ross is on the tweets as well. I don't have control of that. So if you are engaging with it and you are saying stuff, really, really appreciate what you're doing. We're just trying to, I say, lighten the mood. It's difficult. The week we've had, we're 4-2 down away from home, staring a second loss in a week in the face. However, Akande's just gone into the box. He's crossed it in. That's unlucky. That's the right idea. There's a lot of width now with Akande on this. A nice ball in again.
Yeah.
It's not quite coming off with that final ball, but there is a lot more. There's a lot more there. Michael Craig he's lost the ball. He's lost the ball. He's too high up the pitch now. That ball has now gone out, but it's throw into Reading. Michael Craig is able to then get back into position. If now passes the ball to him, they have done. They've stitched him right up with that. He was just trying to get back into spot. And we're keeping the ball a little bit better than we were. That's really the small gains that we can talk about. Yeah. I would still be making some more subs. I would be getting some more energy into that midfield. I would really be looking to bring on Charlie Savage at this point, because he's going to give you a little more. I would probably be looking to see if we can bring on Wareham. That's a nice strike. Who was that?
Block. I'll take you through the replay.
But that was better play from Reading.
I'll take you through it. So what we got?
Yeah.
Bindon,
I'm just gonna let the cat out quickly. Oh.
Let that cat out. Wing playing the ball forward really nicely, and Elliott bundled over by the Bolton player, wins a free kick right on the edge of the attacking third of Bolton of Reading, I suppose. Wing drives forward really nicely here, gets the ball forward for Smith, who manages to push back to him. Can't quite get the shot off, blocked before it can get onto the frame in any earnesty. Bindon clears it back to Button here, who's hardly had to do anything in this half, by the way. After the first half, where Reading conceded 4 goals, Button's hardly had to move in this second half, really. Saw a couple chances in the first 5 minutes for Bolton, but nothing really too serious from there. Chem Campbell continuing to move around and looking for some space that his teammates can pass into. It's the funny thing about watching a game without the audio sometimes is seeing things like Sam Smith jump up in the air and pad the ball down with his hand. And you're like, wait a minute, he's forgotten what game he's playing. Reading continuing to push here, though.
Would you say overall the performance, we've been the better side in the second half?
In the second half, yeah. I mean, I think that we've changed some things. So I saw a minute ago that we're using sort of a weird little pressing structure at the moment. It's almost like a 1-2-1-2, where you've got kind of, obviously Wing's the most withdrawn, and then you've got Elliott and Nibs either side, then Smith in front of that as a sort of one who's making decisions based on what he's seeing in front of him. And then they've kind of pushed Chem Campbell on the left and Akande on the right into the spaces between the back three to try and disrupt how that's working. At the moment, though, Bolton seem to be able to work around it if they go wide. So some changes are being made, but Reading's attack has slowed down a little bit in the last 10 minutes, really. They really need, if that was deliberate and they were, trying to take it easy for 10 minutes, so, a game is a long time, like you're preserving your energy so that you can really go at it towards the end as well. But this is where not having a whole load of good subs bites you in the butt again, doesn't it?
Yeah. And Bolton really are just hacking the ball away now. They're just hacking the ball. And, they're struggling for composure. We are winning every ball at the moment. The ball's gone forward now that's a bad challenge again, ref. That's a really bad challenge on Michael Craig. He's not going to pull his cards out for them, though, is he? Why would he? That's not a good challenge at all on the edge of the area. He's really gone in harsh there. That's a real, it's not a good one. On the back of the ankle too. That's a painful one for Michael Craig.
Button's delivered a ball from within the center spot there. Just wanted to point that out. Button is very confident on the ball. I just wish he could do the goalkeeping part a little bit better. I'm just seeing that tackle on Craig now. Yeah, that's an uncomfortable one. It's an uncomfortable one. Bolton player's not happy about it, but hey, it's just it's not a good challenge, is it?
I completely missed that. What was Nathan Baxter booked for?
I think he's booked for dissent after the tackle on Craig. The tackle's not too bad, but then he turns around and uses some industrial language to refer to the referee.
I love that. What a great phrase that is. Industrial, like people that. Yeah, I guess that phrase came from like people that work on building sites because they're industrial, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like pass me the bloody cement, mate, or something.
And then they'll use some industrial language like 2x4.
Yeah. Get me the flipping spanner, you idiot.
It's a move off the training ground for the free kick that has admittedly got got Smith a header at the back post, but he's put it just tamely into the goalkeeper's hands there. And yeah, really, Reading needed more. Reading need a goal here in the next few minutes if they're going to seriously for a point here.
So the resulting free kick fell to Smith there, didn't he? Bit of a tame header.
I'm saying a routine off the training ground finds Smith. You can't put it around the goalkeeper.
Well, he headed it straight at Baxter, right?
Yeah, he did. So, yeah, straight at the goalkeeper. Straight at the goalkeeper. Not what you want at all. Always aim low and wide, right? That's the rule.
Yeah,
the rule
always.
Finishing.
Always go across the keeper.
I tell you what, I do want a pasty though. After this game, I've been seeing. If you're not watching, there are pasty adverts along the side of the pitch. A lot cars, pasties, other pasties.
Do you not want some steel fabrication instead? Because there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of steel fabrication. That's good. Bolton are actually have some possession on the outside of Reading's box for the first time here. Ben's ahead, so he knows what comes of this. But just to quickly touch on the game there. Reading haven't really had a decent attack here for 10, 15 minutes. They're losing a little bit of the air in the balloon, for sure.
Yeah.
Is that better than industrial language? Air, balloon?
Yeah, air in the balloon, yeah. Well, this is the frustrating thing. Despite the kind of the positivity that we showed in keeping the ball, despite the kind of the semi-control of the game, we've not really created anything, as you said, for a long period of time. And that is, obviously it's stupid to say, but it's not going to get you goals, is it? So
Bolton crossing the ball into the box and it just goes behind there for a corner. And this is really some of the first times that Button has had to touch the ball in the second half here. And you've got to be wondering what's going through his head now. So your choices in terms of goal. Actually, let's talk about this after the game a little bit briefly. We'll stick around for 15 minutes, but
Bolton are 5-2 up now.
Oh dear. All right, well here we go. I'm watching the replay here. Ball comes in from the corner, and it's just an uncontested header. Guy goes behind wing, who's already dealing with one player in front of him. Look, Reading have tried a little set piece routine a couple minutes previously, and it hasn't quite come off. And this one has. Everyone's packed in towards the goalkeeper. and the guy, come over the back of Wing, who's ended up at the back of the pack of the players going towards Button, just through the movement on the ball, and he's just not tracking that player who's coming in from far. It's a nice little move from the training ground for Bolton. But this is a team that lost 4-0 to Huddersfield last week, who are now losing 3-0. It's tough for Reading. They need to be doing better.
Shambles, really. Shambles.
Yeah.
I mean, not just the way. I mean, and this is the galling thing, is that we can sit and we can say, look, people aren't watching the game. We have been better second half. That's a fact, really. But you walk away from it having been 3-0 down and go, okay, well, we come away with a 4-2 loss. It's still a loss, but it flatters everyone a little bit more. But to concede that goal is just. It's just a basic defence again, isn't it? It's just the basic errors, basic stuff that we've got here.
Yeah,
and on paper, this now looks a really bad result. Shipping 5 goals is not. Of course, it's not ideal.
It's not ideal, and it's not. I don't. Did you necessarily think at the start of this week that Reading were going to go down, go up to Bolton and do, I mean, scoreline wise, worse than they did last season on that Easter Monday? Because I don't think I did.
No, I don't think so. You look at the game. I mean, I genuinely thought they would have won last week, and you can't keep going on about it. But that really sets the tone for the week we've had. Quite frankly,
and it's tricky, isn't it? Because we really need, to stay just like well clear of any danger or anything like that. And we had a great, before the international break, first 4 games of the season. I think the spirits are really high, and it's just tricky when you lose.
I'm going to contradict myself, because I said I wasn't. I don't think anyone should really be criticising Ruben Sellers, but I can't understand why he's made as little subs as he has in this game. I don't understand it.
I think that I think he wonders, what can he change? Savage is the only one on the bench who really is maybe, the option there, but Nibs is playing okay and winning the ball. Wing is so important to how Reading play. And then Elliott also really important. He's the guy who gets found out in the red zone. So again, I think Sales have been like, oh, well, they're not playing too bad. They're just making individual mistakes. And yeah, I think that I can understand criticism from there. I can see what he was doing, but I can understand if other fans would want to have subs coming on a little bit sooner, or changing the game a bit more. But I mean, until 5 minutes ago, Bolton had done pretty much nothing this half, and now Button's had to make a good save. He's let one in, whereby the set piece routine is good, but it's not ideal. Reading have a corner here. I've got 89-30 on mine, and now the balls are just being delivered straight to the goalkeeper. It's I think the air fully has gone out of the balloon now. The balloon is limp, as it were. So tricky here for Reading. Can you tell us how many minutes of extra time there are?
Can I?
Yeah. Can you see it? Is it on your small screen?
No. It might +4. I'm on 90-18 now. Okay. And it says +4. So what? 3.5 minutes left. 3.5 minutes left to play.
There it is. And Bolton looking like attacking again. Some of those subs have actually changed things for Bolton a bit here, and they're probably finishing the game a little bit stronger, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Really tricky. And next week, obviously, they play Huddersfield. I suppose you don't know what you're going to get playing Huddersfield right now. But again, it's part of this difficult start. I think a few weeks ago, we thought that Bolton were really part of the very difficult start that Reading have, and they performed so well in the first 4 weeks that we were positive, like I said a few minutes ago. But yeah, this is tricky. Brafer so far in the middle of the field again, and finds a Conde on the far side, but both fullbacks, even players like a Brafer that you might think of as more traditional in their style, are really playing in some very interesting positions coming inside. Oh, Peter Martyr. Yeah, this is what a failed takeover in 5 years of bands.
But he's right. You can't. You know, he's right. You know, the morale of the players is shot. I honestly think, and people will call me bonkers for saying this, that second half, you know, does not look like a team that is about to go down 5-2. That was much better in the second half, and you know, you have to respect again. How many times we said that?
Bolton have hit the crossbar again in the final minutes here. Sorry, Ben, to interrupt you. Big scramble in the box, and Bolton had four players advancing on Mbenge there.
Yeah, but it again, just clear the football. You know, I mean, but to be fair, who's that? Lewis Wing's got something on that. If he doesn't get it on there, then I think that goes in. He just had a little chink on that to clear it onto the crossbar, but.
You know, it's funny. There's a big sign behind Button's head right now that says "toilets on the go," and I would say that's pretty much a good explanation of what our away days look like here. Toilet on the go. My word, yeah, Wing has done very well there to head that onto the crossbar. That isn't. We're very lucky that we're not 6-2 down here.
But on the balance of play there, right? So this half will end 1-1. Okay. You can't argue that Bolton haven't deserved to win this game because they have. You know, there won't be a Reading fan around that says, "Oh, we shouldn't." You know, that Bolton shouldn't have won it and we should have got something out of it. Absolutely no chance, right? But what I would say is that you take out those set pieces. You know, you take out the 2 goals from the penalty spot, take out the free kick. You know, 2-1 is a respectable loss, and you know, I don't care what you say. There are versions of losses that are okay and are not okay. Right, I can't go out and be critical too much of these players, even though that if that's come across in the live feed, that's not what I'm trying to do here. What I am saying is that with this second half, this 1-1 second half that we've had, you know, we have been the better team in this second half for sure. We really have, and you know that makes it even more frustrating because if we've been absolutely smashed for 90 minutes, right? Fine. But we haven't, you know, the 40 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever. I mean, that's Crufts now. That's the final whistle. It's all done in Lancashire at the Tough Sheet Stadium. 5-2, handshakes between everybody. But that really is the galling thing about this is that, you know, for a part of the game we were in it and we were the better side. But it's just those individual errors as it was. Who was it? Luke on the comment. Said it's just individual errors again, and it is. There's 3 individual errors that have led to those goals. Individual error last week that's led to those goals, and it's very, very difficult to keep going with that. You know, it's really, really tough. The Lion's called Lofty, by the way.
I don't like it. I'm just going to put it out there. All right. I like Bolton. I saw one of the classic Reebok kits at one point when they were kind of panning around the stadium. Right. Yeah. I like a lot of things about Bolton, but I do not like that Lion. Our Lion's much better. Anyway, yeah, but tough day for Reading at the end of a really tough week, obviously. And you're right. Like, I'm sure the morale is tricky right now. I'm sure that the players are kind of, and the coaching staff are kind of trying to get themselves into sort of a siege mentality with what's going on. But when this has happened so many times with, you know, the takeover seemingly getting close and then, you know, moving away, I'm sure that when things start to go wrong, it's really hard to get yourself up for it and give that little extra that helps you win, you know, like 60% of your duels or whatever. It's so important to winning a game. Good for Bolton for bouncing back, but Reading needed to make that a lot harder for them. And you're right, it's individual mistakes again that have cost them. Obviously, there's the penalty that Mbenge's given away. There's the scramble that's led to Wing getting a yellow card, and you know a free kick for Bolton for that first goal. Can Button do better with that first save? I don't know. I want to talk about the goalkeepers briefly in a second, but. Yeah, really tough day. That's a rubbish Lion, mate. I'm not having it. But yeah, tricky day for Reading. And where do they go next? You know, Huddersfield at home. It's going to be an interesting one. Huddersfield, bad result today, but they've had some good results so far this season. So
yeah difficult. I mean, we'll just wrap up some of the other scores as well. I mean, in terms of the table. The latest update on that is that it puts us down in 16th now on 7 points. And you know, there is still some distance. You know, you look at the bottom section there, they're sort of hovering around 4 and 6 points. You know, Rotherham in 21st, Burton in 22nd with 4 points, and Cambridge really rooted to the table on 1. And I'm not trying to be like, wow, we should be looking down, but you know, you look at the results today. Right. And there's been some bonkers ones. You know, we have Huddersfield in the early kickoff next week at the SCL. They're currently in 5th on 12 points. But, you know, there has been some really odd scores today. Exeter and the Lincoln games we know about, obviously 5-2 with us. Barnsley have managed to beat Burton. Very, very late goal from them. Burton actually got themselves back into the game. 88 minutes, and then Stephen Humphreys for Barnsley on 90 minutes to get the game. Charlton and Blackpool still playing the 101st minute there. Quite incredible. That's 2-1 at the moment. And Northampton are beating Huddersfield 3-1, which again is you know, it's good, I guess a good result for us if we're at that stage of the season already, looking at who we're playing next. Mansfield 2, Shrewsbury 1. Peterborough and Bristol Rovers 3-2 to Peterborough at the moment, but that is the latest score. They're in 98 minutes there. Birmingham 2, Rotherham 0. Stockport County 1, Leyton Orient 4. You know, and Stockport were top of the table a week ago or whatever, and actually they're falling like a stone at the moment. Wrexham have managed to beat Crawley. Max Cleworth, 79 minutes have managed to put Crawley to the sword. Wickham, again, very late goal to beat bottom side Cambridge. They've gone to the good 2-1 to get their 3 points. So it's very, very difficult at the moment to see who's going to be able to that kind of mid card, really, if we're liking it to wrestling, who's really going to start to kind of kick on the table. There's Bristol Rovers, Bolton, Crawley, ourselves, Stevenage and Wigan, all on the same points. Worth noting, however, that Bristol Rovers have played an extra game due to that international week that a lot of clubs didn't take part in the league.
Wrexham too, I think.
You know, and then there's not a massive gap. You know, Wickham are at 9th with 10 points. So feasibly, if all results go our way, we could be back up to 9th this time next Saturday. You don't know. You really don't know. And I think the key thing is to look at these home games. And my opinion is to get to as many games as you can at home. Obviously, I know a lot of go away, but like just back them. Just we need to get the points at home. You know, Huddersfield is another winnable game. They're mostly winnable games in this league, and they've got another week on the training pitch. Some of these players will take part against Ajax in their game at the SCL on Tuesday night. So, you know, there's a good opportunity again to get these players behind. I think my main takeaways today, we were better in the second half. I think we needed some impetus in midfield. I would have made changes sooner personally. That's just my take on the game. The first half really was a shambolic experience for everyone involved. So, yeah, listen, we are where we are. Thoughts from you, Ross?
Actually, I'll say I've got a few things before we close out here. But if you've got thoughts, chat, if you have any questions for us, anything you want us to talk about in the post-game analysis here, we've been talking for 2 hours and 10 minutes, so we'll probably only do 10, 15 minutes max. But you know, we like to waffle on, so feel free to ask any questions. And we will answer them, basically. So the question for me, I briefly my thoughts on the game. I think that Reading threw the game away so early on with two just mistakes that caused, you know, free kick and then penalty, and when you're chasing the game, we really needed to make it tough for Bolton, and we didn't. You know, we got them fired up. What Button's doing, getting involved with Charles and firing him up to, you know, play with some anger and all that kind of stuff. I just don't see how that helps personally. It seemed like there was a small battle going on between Button and Charles throughout. Let's talk about Button. And Kanaya Boyce Clark, because now Reading are in a really tricky situation that we talked about on the pod last week that we really didn't want, where Reading, you know, now have 2 goalkeepers who they can play instead of Pereira. And you were saying you want an emergency loan earlier in the live stream today. What do we do from here? Who starts the next game? Because now you've got a player who's made an individual error at a time that's cost us a game, but a player who's conceded 5 goals. And again, I'm watching these highlights of Button back. He just doesn't have the athleticism and the explosive ability to push himself all the way across his frame or across the frame of the goal, and that's just really an issue. Boyce Clark makes errors with his positioning and with his body shape and things like that, but he is athletic enough to get across the goal and make saves that you wouldn't expect him to make. The thing we spoke about at Button last season so much was he never makes a save you wouldn't expect him to make. There's a few like little reaction things in there whereby the ball is basically punted at his face and he's able to move it away with his body or whatever, but tricky. Where do you go from here? Who starts for you as the goalkeeper against Huddersfield?
The emergency loan we're going to get in this week. I honestly don't know. I don't. The problem today, and we can say it now in hindsight, is that, and I think Sim said this earlier, is that when you change the goalkeeper after one game, you then have to commit to that change for the next 3 or 4 games, because he now can't turn around and go, right, well, we're swapping Button out for CBC. It can't happen, right? It just can't happen. So, I get that people are going, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. But realistically, what should have happened today was that CBC should have been given at least another game, because if he throws another one in, or he has a bad game, or he doesn't do what he needs to do today, right, then you say that's 2 games in a row. How many games last season did Button get to continually throw goals into the net? You think about Northampton away, that was one of the worst goalkeeping performances I've ever seen from a Reading goalkeeper. And with all due respect, I grew up watching Simon Shepherd for a period of time at Elm Park. So, that in itself was dreadful, but he was then allowed to stay in the team and was picked as a result of that. So the lack of patience that Sellers has shown to CBC today will backfire, because you could go, do you know what I'll do? I'll swap him out. He can't do that now unless Button gets an injury.
Yeah, the only thing I can think, I mean, maybe it is fully a Sellers decision. Do you think Boyce Clark wanted to play today? That's the only thing I can think is, do you think he maybe said, no, I'm not ready to go today? And that's a bigger issue maybe too, but actually that's just me speculating, guys. I have no idea.
I would be surprised if he turned around and said, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I'm
players aren't built like that. Yeah, exactly. They're competitive.
So I don't know. If it was me and 5 aside, I'd gone, you're not sticking me in goal next week, lad.
No.
And I'm paying to play, right? I'm not paid to play. So it's a different conversation altogether. I would be very surprised, and I think he's going to stitch himself up if he then goes back to CBC. So, as I said, unless something medical happens in training and Button can't physically play, then he will play.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. Let's talk about this one in chat real quick. Lee's an interesting one. He's asking why Mbenge is playing at center back. Mbenge isn't a center back. I think Mbenge is a center back now at this point. I think he proved through the back half of last season with Bindon that he can be an incredibly effective center back. He has the tools physically to play in a more fullback position for sure. But I think that he's played pretty well as a center back. Although it is worth saying that wing does often help out on the defensive side, and he is somebody that has to win duels for Reading. But if you look back at Mbenge's sort of defensive figures through the season, certainly in the back half of last season and in this season so far, he's still winning his physical duels, especially on the ground. I do see some of the issues with his size in terms of his height and his aerial ability, but I think that when you're covering it with wing and Bindon, then it's not as big an issue as it could be. That said, I do think that having him and Craig next to each other, having 2 players defensively that aren't the best in the air, can be an issue at times. So yeah, the defense is a little bit shaky at the moment, but for me, I wouldn't be playing Dorset at center back. And Dorset got injured today, which we hope the best for him. And hopefully it's not as bad as it looked at the time. But for me, Dorset's the person that needs to come out of the lineup now. A lot of those individual mistakes are coming on his side of the field. And so Brafer, I thought, was really good, especially on the ball today. Another player cut from the same kind of cloth as Elliott and Nibs, where they can play these short, fast passes in these nice triangles. And so I think if there's a positive for me today, it's Kelvin Brafer, I would say. And obviously got his assist for the Elliott goal.
But look, I thought Michael Craig was good as well. I think he's quickly becoming a better right back than he was a central midfielder. That's my opinion of it. And I think, you know, you would always want to have strength and depth. And, you know, talk about Andy Yeardom, and we know the situation with the Brafer in the summer where he was injured and he couldn't play. And we now know about Craig speaking, you know, calling and suggesting to Sellers that he play there. But he has all the makings to be a very, very solid right back for us moving forward. And I think, you know, on the balance of where all those other players are, he will continue to be number one right back, even when we get those other players back fit that can play there. So,
yeah,
you know, I thought Michael Craig was okay. I thought he was probably the standout player before a Brafer came on, as you say. As I said at half time, I think the main issues really were that Button wasn't great, Bindon wasn't great, and Bengay wasn't great, and Dorset definitely wasn't great. So what's that, 4 of your 5?
Yeah,
you know, you're going to struggle to get anything out of the game anyway. So the jury's out on midfield. I mean, I've said repeatedly I would have brought Savage on, and I'm not trying to be biased here, but he just gives that extra bite. He just gives that extra aggression in there and energy. I thought Chem Campbell was okay. You know, Sam Smith took the one chance that he had, which was the penalty, and it was a good penalty. But again, it's not right, the balance there. You know, Kelvin, you know, Big Kelvin had a quiet game aside from hitting the crossbar. So it does happen. It's not a cliche. It does happen where all these players, you know, don't have good games, and you end up losing the game. But given the week that we've had off the pitch, you can kind of understand why. Really, it's just frustrating. You know, with the Leyton Orient loss, the stuff with the takeover in the week, and now this. It's been another terrible week in the history of, or the recent history of, this football club. So.
Rounding it out, I'm gonna round us out with I had a look on the stats and all those kinds of fun things. Reading had more possession, and one actually put up one of their highest expected goals totals of the season with 1.76 here, 17 shots to Bolton's 18. So, I mean, look, they're chasing the game when the game state is in a 4-1 against you. Like, you're going to have to throw things forward and chase the game. But a lot of the stat sites here, and I'm not super surprised by this, have the midfield with some pretty good scores. Certainly for how they kept the ball, certainly for how they were able to generate chances, and a lot of the Reading players have chances, or they have a lot of generated like XA or XG or something like that. And I'm looking here at the expected goals in general. Reading actually generated nearly as much from open play as Bolton did. Bolton had 2 penalties in that game, right? So,
and this goes back to the point we made earlier. That's the main frustration of this. You know, you take away those 3 set piece goals. I don't think creatively Bolton made you know, enough noises in the game to be able to affect it. You know, you take those out. I don't want people going, oh, you know, you're saying that they shouldn't have won. I'm definitely saying that Bolton should have won that game on the balance.
Oh no, Bolton should have won. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying Reading there are some indications that Reading 100%. Did some things that were okay in the game. And if you look at the expected goals on target, Bolton had 3, but like 2 of those, almost 2 points of that are just penalties. And obviously we had a penalty as well. We had 2.88. So we're not that far away on that either. Their goalkeeper made good saves when our goalkeeper couldn't. There's the one on the Mbenge header that's gone across the box after a bouncing. It's a good save. It's a tricky situation for Reading. Anything else before we wrap up today?
No, I need a beer.
I need a beer too. It's 12:13.
You can do that
afternoon here.
It's 5:15 there. Is it 5:15? Yeah, it's coming to 5:15. So I'm gonna go and get a beer.
Right, you deserve a beer.
So we're going to be back on Monday. We're going to do a pod. We had hope for a guest outside of the club, but connected to the club, if that makes sense. But I don't know if that's going to come off yet. So it will definitely be me and Ross. We might try and get someone else on, but it will be a sort of a brief round. Really.
You never know.
Anything you want to get in touch. We love an email. You know that. You can chuck some comments in. You can message us on X, Facebook, whatever. Anything you want to say about this game, we will put out a reminder that we're doing the pod. So if you've got anything to say about it, likewise, if you've watched this and you thought that was an absolute waste of my time watching it, tell us as well, because actually, like, if we do this again, we want to know what to improve. And don't say choose someone else to do it, because there's no one else to do it, right?
Yeah.
I'd want to watch it again. You know, and even worse, right? I saw someone who go, "Oh, I love listening to Ross's tactical analysis." Hold on, it's a 2-man show. No one's ever said, "Oh, Ross is a host and Ben's a host." We're co-hosts.
I consistently say that I'm not the host, actually. But anyway, we're just waffling now about our.
Listen, we're going to go. Ross is going to have a lunchtime beer. I'm going to have an evening beer.
Enjoy my ratings. Look out for the ratings.
Ross is going to do the ratings. Look after yourselves. I mean that generally. I say that all the time. It's been a horrible week. Keep talking. Get in touch with us if you want. Get in touch with Talking Royals. Like, there's lots of people out there that can help, and just sharing and venting sometimes is a positive thing. We'll be back on Monday. Thanks very much for tuning in, and we will see you very soon.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Come on, you Rs.
Come on, you Rs. Thanks, guys.